what's the general demi operation? What's that? I would not only would I'd actually like a lot of first off, I think not only is that necessary, but not and I feel like
Dog. Well. Oh, dog. Well, hand me that guitar. Hand me that guitar. Dog, let's get this show on the road. Here's one you'll know. Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. It's me, Scoutmaster Demi. We are going to beat this game. We're definitely going to beat it, and I'm really excited for it, I have to say. But, you know, I guess I just got to take a second to say, holy cow, it has definitely been a long game, and even though we're going to beat it tonight, I don't know how soon it's going to be completely honest with you. So, hello to all of you. Nice to see you, TR. Nice to see you, Outlaw. Hello to you, Cito. Hello, Cowbell, Hedgehog, Kirito, our favorite McDonald's thief. I'm just kidding. You're not a thief, but that conversation from the other day really cracked me up. I'm just gonna... Oh, and Retro. Nice to see you, Retro, of course. How could I doubt? Retro's always here. Love you, my friend. Let's go ahead and finish this off. I know that we are basically... well, it's interesting, right? Because we're defending Francisca von Karma, but I have a feeling that it's all a ploy. Right, that I think it's basically just an excuse to continue the investigation, because otherwise the investigation would have stopped. So let me go ahead. Oh yeah, pie day was fun. Thanks for asking. Yes, really delicious pizza, really delicious pecan pie. It was actually I should share those videos before I forget, because I did not post any of them. Really tasty, really good. Obviously, high in calories. I've got to do better. I gotta do better. That's all I can say, y'all. It's hard, man. It's hard sometimes, you know. Just want to have a good time. Just want to eat good food, have some laughs with my friends. You know, it's tough. It was just one friend anyway. Well, I guess two friends, but it was good stuff. Cito, though, I want to hang out with you again soon. I'm out of town this weekend, Cito, but let's definitely do something next weekend. Actually, this week I'm free for spring break. I'm completely free, so other than our streams. So if you want to hang out, Cito, I would love to. The border crossing weapons. To read, look at... Oh, also, by the way... Actually, hold up. I'll wait to share this. I'll wait to share this info. But it has to do with the game that we're playing and the day that it is. Take a look at yesterday's date, TR. It's 3/14, right? March 14th? 3/14. One of Alabast's knives was used in Bobble to murder Mr. Cochin. The murder weapon in the killing is Bobble's Prima statue. Somehow these two objects were able to penetrate the two countries' impenetrable security. The only one who traversed the two countries just before and after was you. Right, it's clever, huh, dude? It's clever. A lot of restaurants do fun stuff for it, too, if they enjoy pies, you know? So as long as I can't explain how they moved, Francisco will remain a suspect. You got it, Mr. Prosecutor, so why don't you stop giving me a hard time? Under these circumstances, who else can carry a weapon across country lines? I've worked through every possibility, but there's only one that's plausible, your boss. Agent Lang, what I've learned from you is that you've lost sight of yourself. What are you talking about? By focusing too intently on that which is in front of us, we become blind to the truth. Don't tell me Langzy never said anything to that effect. You prosecutor. Who do you think you are speaking about Langzy's proverbs like that? I don't need his proverbs, because my words are all you'll need to see the truth. That is a low blow, and I love it. I love my man out here. One of Alabast's knives, which, by the way, someone like Phoenix Wright, I think he's too nice to say something like that. That's part of the reason I like Edgeworth so much. One of them was used to murder Cochin. The murder weapon in the killing was the Prima statue. Somehow they were able to penetrate the impenetrable security. I should hardly think they were impenetrable. You've seen the top of the wall between the two countries, right? Who in the world could cross over that? Yeah, not even I could climb over that thing with all the barbed wire. The only way into either embassy is through the doors and the Theatrum Neutralis, so the only way for the knife and the statue to traverse is through those security camera-equipped, well-guarded doors. The only one who traversed... Was Francisca really the only person who traversed? According to the guards at both doors, she's the only one to go back and forth. The sis there was an Alabast when the Yatagarasu showed. And then, just before you guys found Mr. Cochin, she entered Babel. I think we can assume that's when she brought the knife. Then how do you explain the Prima statue? I haven't quite figured that out yet. However, the fact that the two weapons crossed the border proves that the killer must have also traveled across the country lines. The only things to cross the border are the statue and the knife. I should hardly think those are the only two items, Agent Lang. Okay, let's stop and take a think. What else crossed both of those lines? I guess the knife did? The only one who traversed was those two. The Steel Samurai did. Didn't the Steel Samurai also, funny enough? Oh, maybe they just met in the middle. They probably just met in the middle. We gotta really think about the evidence here. Entering the crime scene. Contains orders from the boss. Dirt on the tips. Good length of wire. I guess we still haven't figured out what the wire in the clock was either, now that I think about it. 2 fires in Bobble. Photo taken after the first fire. Oh, wow. Are we gonna point to the Yatagarasu? Is that... I wonder if that's... Oh, wait. We need to save. Is that possible? Is that what we're gonna do? Are we gonna look at the freaking Yatagarasu? That could very well be the case. Let's see. It's kind of, it's some sloppy logic. But something did cross the border. Whatever that is. Whatever this ends up being. Okay. Not that. Not that. I wonder what would happen if we lose here, too. Would Francisca go to jail? I'm actually kind of curious if Francisca would go to jail. Right? Sega, we haven't started yet. I know, but I know what you're talking about, because I remember it. I remember it as a kid. Okay, so not the Yatagarasu. The Basque? Nope, okay. I want to see what happens. I want to see what happens when he loses. When he loses, as if it wasn't me. Looks like I got all the answers I need. Come on, sis, it's time for us to go. Agent Lang, please wait. Sorry, but I'm tired of waiting, because I'm not one to wait around for others to solve my case. I'm at a loss of what to do myself. Spicy. Miles, is this really where it all ends? Yes, for now. Hey there, Aziel! Aziel, have you played this game before? Have you played this game before? It's a doozy for sure. This final area is definitely a doozy. Alright. Okay, let's stop and think though. The only one who traveled between the two countries. I mean, we have the knife, the key. Well, Aziel, I don't know how long you're going to stick around, but let's just say it's not short. Let's just say it is not short. Yeah, it has to be that final... It has to be this statement here. The only one who traveled... Okay, not the knife either. Okay, we have to reload because we have so little life that it's going to be pretty bad. Like, regardless of what we do. It's going to be really awful. So let's try that again. This is interesting. Because I know, like, the staff, the Steel Samurai, there were other people to do it. I just don't know which of these, maybe even Kochin? Maybe even Manny Kochin did? Used as a weapon, was swapped. It's not the mask. Okay, not even Callisto U did, interestingly enough. Made by Kochin. How do we show that one of the staff could have crossed the line? I wish I could present the picture of somebody, you know? Handwriting belongs to Manny Kochin. But now it's a fake. I'm having a hard time, gang. This one shouldn't be that hard, to be honest. Body wasn't body wasn't badly burned. Could I even just say? Okay, we don't even say the embassy, I guess. Did I really? Is that a pretty rare thing for you? Well, now I'm thinking... Oh, man. Is that your real name, by the way? Aziel? For some reason, I think of, like, an old anime back in the day. But I think that's, like... I don't think his name was Aziel. It was, like... It was, like, a demon dog. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Does anyone have any idea what I'm talking about? Hey, Ruiz, nice to see you, man. Nice to see you, Ruiz. We are finishing the last episode of this story game. Yeah. Okay. I'm a little annoyed because I feel like there's got to be like a really clean piece of evidence that talks about crossing the border. Yeah, biblical, like Ezekiel, like a Ezekiel, or actually, did you guys know that Rebecca is also a biblical name? Rebecca is such a common name to me, but I guess also like David, right? There's a lot of biblical names. So only one who traversed. Is that actually true? Stole the knife. It was a fake, but it was swapped. Smuggling of ink. The money in Zhangfa. My next game is going to be Digital Devil Survivor. Shin Megami Tensei. Actually, I don't think it's called Digital Devil Survivor, but I think it's called Devil Survivor. Shin Megami Tensei. It's going to be a long game. It is going to be a long game, for sure. But also, this was a long game, so, you know. I do think the nice thing about those games, it'll be easier for people to follow, because a story game like this, right, it's like, it's kind of hard to keep up with everything. As much as I love these games. The only one who passed. Is it really this statement? Maybe it's a different statement? Is it possible? Somehow these two objects were able to penetrate the security. These are tough pieces of evidence. These are tough statements. In a lot of other Ace Attorney games, it's more obvious which one to do. Gameplay oriented. Well, I'll be honest, Tech, I looked it up. I didn't want to keep stumbling in the dark there. I don't want to keep looking it up, but that was one where I was like, what the heck is this? Edgeworth, those are two items that are not the only ones to cross the border. And to be fair, to be fair, in this case, like, I assumed that when they talked about the one statue, they also were talking about the other one. It's kind of weird and nitpicky to be like, I only focus on one of the country statues as opposed to the other, so, yeah, I don't know. The Master II was killed with Babel's Primoduc statue, but if that's the case, then tell me, where did Alabast's Primoduc statue go? To Babel. Precisely. And if the two statues really were switched, then this means that both statues were smuggled. Which means a total of 3 items were smuggled. Huh. I guess so, but you know what? It doesn't matter the number of items, only that Sis is the only one who could have done it. The only person who went back and forth is her. Is that really true? Was there no one else who traveled between the two countries? Actually, there was definitely another person. Yeah, right. That's exactly right, Oziel. That's exactly right. And again, I think Devil Survivor will be really good for that too. And by the way, that was our friend Cabo who chose that. He spent, if you look at our channel points, you can spend a lot of channel points to make me play another DS game. What a lousy try to bluff your way out of this one. I checked out what the guards said. Along with the camera security footage, you're not going to overturn my hypothesis that easily. But suppose there was some other way than through the theater doors. What other way? The other entity that managed to cross the border. If I point it out, it would open up a whole new possibility. And though I hesitate to bring this out, as long as this entity exists, the impossible road becomes a possibility. Looks like you got some clever idea in mind. The piece of evidence will show us another way to move between the two countries. I think it's actually... It will show us another way to move between the countries. I feel like the Steel Samurai's cart is possible. But honestly, like... Yeah. Agent Lang, I'm sure you're familiar with this unforgettable photo. That supernatural photo, like I said before. Humans can't fly. No, of course not. I understand that perfectly well. And don't start claiming that Sheena somehow grew wings either. I wouldn't dream of claiming that. And I'm more likely to take back what you said either. I'll say it again. It's not humanly possible to fly. See, I better have a good explanation for this, Mr. Prosecutor. Ugh. But how can I prove who it was that flew through the air? Wait, not humanly possible. Eureka. Very well. You will have your explanation. Sounds like you got a good idea shimmering in that head of yours. The face hidden within the photo's blurry trailed photo is... Is it the statue? It's got to be one of the statues, right? I just don't know which of the two statues. Because this one was taken... This was taken in Alabast, I think? I think it took place in Alabast, so I guess... But I don't know if that makes it the Alabastan statue or the non-Alabastan statue. I guess it would be the Alabast one, because that's how they got swapped. Because they probably got swapped through this event, right? Naturally, the shadow is the third smuggled object, the Primadux statue. You can't be serious. The Atagarasu, a rather Callisto Yu dressed as Agent Sheena, was inside Bobble. She dressed the replica up in clothes and launched it through the air. Ha, Mr. Prosecutor! You left out a very crucial bit. I know I did. She launched it through the air? Ha! And how exactly did she do that? He's literally baring his fangs at me. But he has a point. How exactly did it move through the air like that? As long as this remains unsolved, we won't be able to move any closer to the truth. How about the wire? Is it now time for the wire? I remember just before Ambassador Alba was about to give the speech, he called you into his office, right? Just before the murder, Francisca was called here right in the very room. That may be another avenue I can pursue. Agent Lang, in order for me to answer that question, I will need to hear testimony from Miss Von Karma. Oh, and what are you up to now, pretty boy? Earlier, you mentioned something of interest to me. You said that just before the murder occurred, Miss Von Karma had been in this room because Ambassador Alba had called for her. Hey, how are you, Lich King? Yeah, I guess I did say something like that. In that case, I believe it's my duty to ask her what her side of the story is. You really think a criminal will tell us the honest truth? How dare you? As I've said numerous times, there's absolutely no proof that I'm the killer. Miles Edgeworth, don't tell me you suspect me too. I don't. However, I can't ignore the fact that you were in this room at one point, which is why I would like to hear about your movements in this room. Francisca, I feel that I still don't have enough information, which is why your testimony is incredibly important. Alright. So, what would you like me to talk about? I'd like you to please testify to your movements in the room before the murder occurred. But what if she has to say, what if what she says turns out to be a waste of time? I'll place her on arrest faster than you can howl no. As you wish. As I said earlier, I was assigned to guard duty in the Alabastan Embassy. After I saw the Steel Samurai off on his way to the ambassador's office, I returned to the Rose Garden a bit and checked on the security station. After all the preparations were in place, I was called back by Ambassador Alba. Okay. Francisca, I want to make this very clear from the beginning. What I wish to confirm is that the only time span in which you were in this office was before the murder occurred. Is that correct? Yes, of course. I see. For now, the only way I can see for us to break out of this situation is to ask Francisca about her testimony in more detail. Alright, we gotta keep pressing. By the way, I love her little outfit. So proper. I thought your duty was to fact-find anything you could about the smuggling ring. Yes, that was my job, but upon hearing the Atagarasu Seta calling card, Ambassador Alba called upon us to protect the embassy. That incident 7 years ago, or have you forgotten what happened here? Anything related to that case we were involved with appears to be rather painful for her. It's not exactly one I can readily forget myself. It looks like you remember the case after all. Of course I do. I inspected every location and every aspect of the police's security detail. I did that. Yes, Von Karma's definitely are perfect in every way. Perfect in every way. So you were at the theater as well. Yes, and I suppose you were also there watching the stage show. Well, yes. Well, after the show was over and I saw the Steel Samurai off, I returned to the Rose Garden for a bit and checked up on the security situation. Why did you need to confirm the degree of preparation? For security's sake, of course. What other reason could I have had? No one knew just how the Yatagarasu had planned on getting in, right? Yes, I suppose you're right. And in the end, they did choose to appear in the Rose Garden, even if it did turn out to be nothing more than a shadow. Ugh, who would have thought that she would use a shadow? Ugh, calm down, Francisca. She must still be nursing a grudge over the fact that she couldn't figure it out herself. Anyway, there was no one in the Rose Garden, and we were aware that the speech was set to start soon thereafter. After all the preparations, I was called back by Ambassador Alba. At that time, Damas II's body had yet to be found in this room, is that correct? Ambassador Alba was here. One can hardly miss his rather large presence. A criminal will say anything to get out of getting arrested. How do we know you're not lying? Well, if you need proof, I'd be happy to oblige you. Seriously? Like I keep telling you, when I arrived at this office, Ambassador Alba was already here. He was standing by the flower box on the windowsill watering his plants. I can attest to that. I remember speaking with the lovely lady around that time here in my office. Grr. Alright then. Add that statement to your testimony and let's hear some details. So Ambassador Alba was in this room at the time, was he? When I arrived, Ambassador Alba was watering the flowers on the windowsill. Am I just objecting right away? Let's press it first. Let's press it first. Yeah, right. Also, have you played the other Ace Attorney games? Or is this your first time, like, seeing all these characters? For the sake of being thorough, I'd like to ask you something. How did you know that Ambassador Alba was watering his plants? What do you mean by that? The entrance to this room is on this side. However, the window's on the opposite side. If what you say is true, then when you entered the room, the body would have been like a wall. He would have been blocking your view of what he's doing. Is that not correct? I suppose it was a bit hard to see around him. But fortunately for me, Ambassador Alba is not an immovable wall. I knocked before I entered, and as I did, he turned around to greet me, with a watering can in his hand. So it's only natural to believe that he was watering his plants, right? I suppose. After his greeting, we spent a little time talking about his flowers. He had attained them himself and is growing them with the utmost care, you know. Yes. The plants in this room, they are all like my children. The passion flowers and the flower box are growing beautifully too. All 4 of them are in full bloom. Miss Von Karma, what did you say just now? I said that the flowers are growing beautifully. What about that statement? Do you not understand? What do I not understand? I do not understand why a certain thing is the way it is. I'd like for you to append that statement to your testimony. There were 4 large passion flowers in full bloom. Easy objection. Easy objection. Up to the first case of the third game. Oh, the first game is so good. Perfect opening case for beginners. So true. Oh, I love the courtroom opening scene. Like when you first enter court, like, and you're talking about the opening statements. I love Phoenix's objection theme. Oh man, yeah, it's so good. For some odd reason, your testimony contradicts with this piece of evidence. The third game is also amazing, and the last case of the second game is my favorite case ever. I think that last case is phenomenal. I knew it. I knew we couldn't trust your words, sis. Mr. Edgeworth, what are you doing discrediting Miss Von Karma like this? Yeah, sir. If you keep this up, she's gonna get taken away. Eek! All I've done is state what I saw. I have made not a single mistake in my testimony. And for this, I am still under suspicion for murder. Is the number of flowers really all that important at this juncture, Miles? At the very least, it is a contradiction in this enigmatic case. One that I find hard to dismiss as irrelevant. Ha! Then let's hear it, Mr. Prosecutor. What does the number of flowers have anything to do with anything? I believe the answer to that will become clearer if we were to examine the flower box. How did this contradiction come about? There must be something behind this discrepancy. They're my beloved flowers. I've grown them with the utmost care. So I ask that you please be gentle with them as you examine them, Mr. Edgeworth. Huh. I understand. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. This patch of soil looks as though it had something removed from it. Ha! What are you doing, Mr. Prosecutor? Why'd you clam up all of a sudden? I'm still here waiting for an explanation, you know. Did you know, Agent Lang? Flowers are best appreciated in silence. It looks like 2 things were pulled out of this flower box. Okay, let's keep moving out of here. Maybe the stakes? The name of these flowers, I believe they're called passion flowers. Ooh. I like Apollo Justice's corner theme. I actually don't like Phoenix's corner theme all that much, to be honest. Hurry and shut this man up for me already. Hold up, I wasn't actually paying attention to that. Not yet. I still have a thing or two left to examine. Watering can has a rather robust design. If you keep wasting time about that, Miss Von Karma is gonna get arrested. I believe I have just the piece of evidence you require. Oh, you do you? You have such confidence in that face of your current plight. You howl like a wolf, Agent Lang. But we'll see if you have any bite to back it up after you see this evidence. Okay, take a look at this. Remember that they had these hair sticks with dirt. I feel like these were stuck in. These were stuck in the pots, right? Yeah, Apollo's is my favorite. Sheena, who was supposedly in Bobble the entire time, had these hair sticks on her that look exactly like the plant that supports this flower box. In other words, I believe it can be said that these hair sticks are in actuality support sticks. Ha! And so what? Is this really all that important to the case? Of course it is. It means that we found yet another item that was smuggled between the countries tonight. Ay-ya! Reminds me of Jackie Chan Adventures. Think about it logically, Agent Lang. These sticks were originally in Alabas, but somehow they wound up in Sheena's hands. So make no mistake, these sticks were definitely smuggled in. Very well, then. I want to hear it from you. Exactly how they wound up here in Bobble. How did these support sticks find their way to Bobble and why? There must be some reason. I'm thinking the wire. I'm thinking the wire. Wired him over. Just another stick, isn't it? And so it is, but the shape of the support sticks is what's important. For when they are used with something in this room, that's when it all comes into focus. Oh, remember we saw the ceiling fans? Do you remember that we saw the ceiling fans that were destroyed? Well, hold on a second. No, it's the crossbow. What am I talking about? The object that completes the picture. That's a crossbow! Well, you're not really suggesting. I am. These hair sticks, or rather plant support sticks, they make for perfect arrows. Hey, cheese! We got some crossbow bolts. I really... First of all, Gara Sword, it's so nice to see you. I really want an official localization, but I think I will also end up playing the fanned sequel to this as well. I'm sure the translation is really good. Can't underestimate the power of a good fan team. This thread is yet to be completely untangled. Even using the arrows, how does this explain how the statues were transported? Furthermore, who could it have been who fired these sticks as arrows? There must be a common thread. Mr. Prosecutor, hold up a second. You do realize what happens when you tie a statue to an arrow, right? They don't fly at all. So Bobble's statue was draped in the Yatagarasu's clothes and shot over here. Even if you fire the arrows from the side, they wouldn't go that far with a statue tied to them. I don't think I need to tell you that the Prima Duck statues didn't sprout wings. You're a realist after all, aren't you? The Prima Duck statues didn't sprout wings. Of course they didn't. Glad you understand. I feel much better already. I was afraid for a second that it was you who were unaware of that crucial fact. It's only crucial because you're under the belief that wings are necessary. What? You need to free your mind up a bit more and let it fly like a bird on the wind. The Prima Duck statues flew, but not on a wing. Allow me a bit of your time and I'll explain this mysterious phenomenon to you. Yeah. That's true of One Piece as well. I think the One Piece fan translations are so much better than the official Viz ones. The Bobble statue was draped and shot over here. But that incredible scene just happened to have been caught on film, resulting in this photo. Ha! And what an incredible sight it was. This photo was taken by a freelance journalist, right? Yeah, so I hear. And not every photojournalist is known to be honest, right? Especially not the ones that sell photos of spirits and giant creatures. Yes, I know what you mean. I've seen those sorts of photos many a time in court. But there have been times when those photos have turned out to be telling the truth. If you'd ever stood in a court of law, you would know it's entirely plausible. You really believe the stuff you're spewing right now? A courtroom certainly is a strange place if what you say is true. But there really is something odd about that photo no matter how you look at it. Even if you fired the arrows from the side, they wouldn't go far with a statue tied to them. You start a bunch of weight, it doesn't fly, yeah. Yeah, that is actually cool. That is really cool. How long have you been an archer, Choose? The arrow by itself is pretty meaningless, don't you think? The things they wanted to smuggle were a lot bigger than nothing. No, that's not necessarily true. The wire. He shoots the wire, right? It's the launching of my conclusions. What the shooter wanted to launch was not the statues themselves, but rather something a crossbow can launch that can be used to move them. Okay, let's try this.
Objection!
Yeah, there we go. Finally, we have reached this point in our discussion. For I present to you that which was carried by the arrow. Ha! I get it now, Mr. Prosecutor. I can see exactly what you're trying to say. You're saying that the knife was tied to an arrow and shot in Mr. Cochin's office. All the way from the 5th floor. Down to the 3rd floor. If what you're claiming is really what happened, I can see how Alabast's statue could be moved. Gravity could be used to move the statue down. But then, what about Bobble's Primudux statue? That's a really good point. The dark shadow in this photo is clearly flying away from Bobble. Going the opposite way of gravity from the 3rd floor up to the 5th floor. How do you explain that? Aha! I think I finally see how the gears behind this whole trick work. Agent Lang, the motion used. I wonder perhaps you have yet to envision how it works in your head. Motion? What motion? This is the motion that was employed to smuggle the statue. I guess rotary, right? That's like cranking. I believe it was done via rotary motion. If the two statues were transported simultaneously... Hey there, visitor! Nice to see you! Simultaneously, get real, the statues would collide somewhere along the way. You're a guy who owns a bow and a set of arrows. I think you call yourself an archer. If you shoot bows... If you own a bow and arrows and you shoot them, I feel like you could. Unless you're, unless that implies like a certain level of skill, but yeah. To make a good archer, start with his grandfather. Is that right? It's... If you shot an arrow at the two ends, a circular belt can be formed. Unfunny, nice to see you. Lang Z says, don't object and call us success. What is beyond reasonability? Didn't pronounce that right. The top one would sag so much to the point where the statues would collide anyway. Agent Lang. As you know, the Primudux statue is a one-of-a-kind national treasure, and the fact that Bobble's statue is a hollow replica, it would naturally be lighter than the real one, meaning that my idea is very possible. Lang Z says, how? Here's what I believe happened. Miss Yu and her mystery co-conspirators set themselves up in two different rooms. The co-conspirator bridged the rooms by shooting the two edge. I'm sorry, Wizard, I didn't, and that's because I really want to beat this game tonight. That's my goal. My goal is to beat it tonight. But I pinky promise I will bring it back. I pinky promise. For next week. The co-conspirator bridged the room by shooting the two ends of the wire on one arrow. Then the two of them covered the statues and proceeded to transport them. After the switch was completed, another arrow was fired, carrying it down to Bobble. And to do that, Miss U hit itself inside the grandfather clock. Ha! Ha ha! Grr. Did he just get whipped? This proves it, right, Agent Lang? That I'm not the killer. Not yet, sis. I still haven't had my dessert yet. Right, Mr. Prosecutor? The proof is in the pudding, as it were. Pudding is a nice dessert. So, you think you can do it? Can you prove what you said is what really happened? Because remember, if you can't, I'll be taking a certain someone back home with me as a souvenir. I agree to that as long as there is no proof. My hypothesis remains just that. He really does. He's got a great character design. He looks freaking cool. Love his expressions, too. What I've laid out is a mere hypothesis, for there is one more piece of evidence. You think you have a piece of evidence that will turn your hypothesis into fact? Well, then let's see it, Mr. Prosecutor. The thing that made it possible to create a circular belt. I believe it is right here in this very room. This is what made the circular belt possible. The fan?
Take that!
The fan spun and it... Yeah, I like it. Looks like it dropped another bomb on us again. The last piece to do the trick. The two pulleys. The ceiling fans double as pulleys in this case, and thanks to the fact that there was one installed in each of the offices, the ceiling fans made for the perfect pulley set. This takes a lot of skill to do. This must be it. This is how the smugglers bypassed it. Ha! Ha ha ha! Oh, you really are something else, Mr. Prosecutor. Bet you figured it all out already, haven't you? You know who the big hotshot that set up this real-life stage show is, don't you? The person who set up this rather large and complex stage show needs to be someone who had knowledge of the existence of a ceiling fan in both of those offices, and that passion flower support stakes could be used as arrows. The real mastermind behind this case. Well, don't you dare make a wolf wait for his food. Why don't you present something like you always do? A single point of the finger here, and this case will explode into an international incident. This is so true. I love the stakes of this. I love this embassy-like scenario. However, it's already too late for me to stop the forward momentum. It appears that I have no choice now but to rush in. There is a piece of evidence that will point to this mysterious mastermind. Is it the trump card? I mean, I know who it is. I'm just trying to figure out... Handwriting was Manny Cochin. What's the perfect... Should I just show the embassy guide? Should I show the embassy guide? This is tough. Yeah, we should save. You're right. You're right. Although I don't know that I can save right this second, can I? It's okay. I can afford one mistake. You're right, Cheese. It's already an international incident. That's a good point. Oh, man. Do I think it's the calling card? It's got to be something related specifically to Alabast. Present my badge. Yes, it must be the badge. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe someone who actually just owns Alabast? Used to be real, but was swapped with a fake. I feel like it's either the Embassy Guide, the Alabaston double save. Yeah, we should definitely double save. I'm gonna try the statue. Okay, it's not the statue. Where's my real dessert? How long you intend to keep it from me? That piece of evidence isn't satisfying at all. Yikes. Stop being so picky with your food. The person who concocted the trick, I should already have the piece of evidence that shows who that is. Oh, is it the tape? Is it the tape? Maybe it's the tape from KG8? Okay. I hope we heal soon. I hope we get a heal soon, because this is going to get real awkward real fast. Okay, I'm thinking it's the cape, because of the Alabaston Embassy.
Take that.
Okay, and it's not. Yikes. Okay, it's not the Alabaston statue, which would represent Alabast. It's not the tape that shows... I mean, it makes sense. The tape was from so long ago. Is it the Embassy Guide? I feel like it's not the Embassy Guide. The Tagarasu's Key. Rhodopian paper documents. Okay, maybe it is just the actual trump card. Even though it doesn't actually talk about Alabast necessarily. Let's try it. Okay, it's not the trump card. I mean, it's got to indict Alba, right? That's like... You think the guitar pick? Let's check the guitar pick. Found at the opener stage. It looks like a pick, but it's also wet for some reason.
Take that.
I like it. Good call. Good call. I like the bolts. Good call. Good call, Lich King. Smuggling could not have been possible without the use of the crossbow. Furthermore, the arrows that were shots... That's not fair. I feel like... Exactly. We were talking about this for so long. Were plucked from the flowers in this room. They were planted so long as the passion flowers had the time to grow so big. Miss Von Karma didn't even notice when the arrows visited. On top of all this, the fact that the culprit also knew both offices had ceiling fans tells us that person had a very detailed information about the embassy's layout. The person I am accusing of hatching this plan is the person who grew the flowers in the flower box with the utmost care. Thus, it can only be you, Quercus Alba. Are you out of your mind, Miles Edgeworth? I'm certain of what I am saying, and I am sure that he is the culprit. Tell me, Mr. Prosecutor, what was the ambassador trying to accomplish? With all that stuff you outlined, why in the world would he need to use a trick like that? I understand your need to doubt me. However, there was one thing that stands out to me as very odd. The one single end result Ambassador Alba sought to obtain. If we were to examine the focus, I believe we will finally find the answer to everything. Everything will become clearer. I would fully understand the reasoning had the situation been the reverse. Exactly. That they had a fake and they want the real one. To go through the trouble of swapping the real for the fake, couldn't agree more. I sense a very shady reason for such a bizarre action. Who better to ask for that than King Primadux himself? I see. Ambassador, we'll be examining that statue now, with or without your permission. Look at him go. I love that Lang doesn't care at all. Lang knew what was up. He knew right away. This kind of looks like the Steel Samurai, don't you think? Because they look alike, that he was picked to be the Goodwill Ambassador. Take a look at this area around the base of his neck. Looks like a gap. Maybe it's meant to be some kind of secret. Maybe it's possible to open the statue from the gap. What? It really did open up! What's this thing that fell out? I believe a more thorough examination is required. What in the... Is this... Hey! Is this what I think it is? It's a plate for making counterfeit bills! Somehow, it appears that we've at long last arrived at the exit to this complex labyrinth. We finally hold within our hands one of the counterfeit money plates, and the reason why the replica was smuggled into Alabas to begin with. The Primadux statue can only be handled by the ambassador or the secretariat. The replica is nothing more than a hollow shell covered in gold. These two circumstances make the statue the ideal object with which to hide contraband. After receiving them, the ambassador had the misfortune of accidentally running into Damask II. Surprised, the ambassador raised the replica. Then, in order to frame the Steel Samurai of the murder, he covered the samurai sword in blood. Well, Ambassador Alba? You're the leader of the smuggling ring. My country's a mess, and it's all because of you? You're the one who killed Damask II. Answer us! I never thought that you would figure things out to this level. However, there was one point I disagree with you on. The head of the smuggling ring was... Mr. Cochin. Quit screwing around! I have no sympathy for someone who would try to pass the guilt onto a dead man. There's one thing I'm sure of, it's that you're the real leader, Quercus Alba. It's not good to speak with such subjectivity, you know, Agent Lang. Subjectivity? My conclusion is anything but, and the result of logic and investigation. Logic and investigation? Only seconds ago, you were ready to arrest Ms. Von Karma. I don't think we can give such a flip-floppy logic any real weight, do you? Heh. Looks like you still don't get why I came back. Excuse me? You see, the reason I came back is so I could sink my fangs into your wrinkly old neck. From the very beginning, my real target's been you. What? Agent Lang, I demand an explanation. Sorry, sis, didn't mean to put you through all that. I knew you were innocent from the very beginning. You did? I knew this whole incident had been meticulously planned. So naturally, the occupant of this room, Ambassador Alba, seemed the most suspicious. But without the ambassador's permission, we couldn't get in to take another look around. So that's why you put on this big show to accuse Francisca of the murder. Using Francisca as the bait, you were able to gain us entry to investigate. Yeah, and if I hadn't done that, I doubt the ambassador would have given the okay to poke around. Very well, I will forgive you. But in exchange for using me as bait, you will take some responsibility and help us find the truth. Agent Lang, for giving me such a great opening. I thank you. You know, I just knew, Mr. Prosecutor, that somehow, if we were able to find some proof by investigating this room, you'd be able to figure out the real culprit with your special brand of logic. Heh. The evidence detectives combined with the logic of a prosecutor. That's just as it should be in a prosecutor-detective team, right? Heh. I don't know about all that. But one thing I do know is I'm itching to see that old man get what's coming to him. Oh, you're quite scary when you want to be, aren't you? Hey, you were the one planning to use me to push all the guilt onto the sis, but unfortunately for you, you misjudged me. Agent Lang, I wish for you to stop trying to intimidate me. What we need right now is evidence and proof. I wonder if you have what is necessary to prove that I am the head of the smuggling ring.
Objection!
Don't be such a sore loser! If you really are the head of the smuggling ring, then you should acknowledge your crimes with dignity. Dignity. That is nothing more than a fool's insincere display of strength. If you really wish for me to acknowledge my crimes, then I would like for you to first see some of this evidence. This is the first time we're hearing this music, huh? I tell you, I knew nothing, really. I didn't even know that a counterfeit plate was hidden inside that statue. About to be a Tekken character. You swapped a real statue that vested in your country the authority to rule for a fake. It doesn't make any sense you didn't know anything. It doesn't make sense. Where doesn't it make sense? Can you prove that it doesn't make sense? Ugh. Wait, what? He's turned the entire situation around. All he did was say, wait, what? Of course it doesn't make sense. The proof that Interpol has been after, which points to this man as the ringleader. If we can somehow find that proof now, we can see it that justice is served, as there's nothing I can use to break this case wide open. The trump card and the videotape. With those two items, we might be able to finally bring this man down. But the card is evidence from a case that Mr. Faraday hid away in secret. And the tape was stolen by Detective Bad from the police. They're both illegal evidence. No matter what, a protector of the law can't be allowed to use such pieces of evidence. Needless to say, we Von Karmas are commanded to achieve nothing but victory, and by any means necessary. The only way to bring someone like that to justice was to do so outside the courts. That's what we thought at the time. I like that Von Karma got a little point there. That's exactly it, TJ. He literally said, no, you. That's exactly. Yeah, I know. I know. That's what I'm saying. Oh, too funny. I won't follow the path of Yatagarasu. This leaves me with what? What creed will I believe in? If I want to pursue the truth, then I will sully my hands in illegality. And if I want to pursue justice, then I will lose the truth. What is the law and what is justice? And which path is a prosecutor supposed to follow? That choice is one I must make in my own hands right here. I mean, I think we gotta use the trump card, right? I mean, could we really not use the trump card here? I want to save. I'm curious what would happen if I say don't use the trump card, because I feel like we probably get a game over. I feel like it's pretty important to use it. Let's see. I'm a prosecutor and I can't allow myself to use evidence such as these. Mr. Edgeworth, if you don't do something, he's gonna get away with it. I know, but... what are you holding back for? The only thing a Von Karma should pursue is the perfect proof. If you really do have what it takes to complete our argument, then there's absolutely no reason not to use it. I agree with Francisco. Lang Zi says, the reason people judge people is because people are people. People weren't born to be chained to the law. Laws were born to protect the people. Okay, that's... Now it made sense. There you go. You're the only one here who could put this guy out to pasture. And that is the only way a second or a third generation of Zangfa's people will be born. Can you really still hesitate knowing the fate of a nation rests in your hands? There's no limit to the law. Any limit that exists was set there by man. When a person goes beyond that limit, then the law too crosses into new territory. For what reason were laws invented? The answer to that is what I must now show. Ambassador Alba. I wonder if you might recognize this. Oh, I wonder what that is. I've never seen that card in my life. It's a directives card used by the leader of the ring to relay instructions to his subordinates. Oh, is that what it is? This card was sent to the real also Tech Fitness too, was sent to the real culprit, KG8, from the KG8 10 years ago, a man by the name of Mr. Manny Cochin. Oh, so why do you have such a card in your possession? Because it was hand-delivered to me by a certain great thief, the Yatagarasu. The Yatagarasu gave it to you. Don't talk nonsense, and let's be serious, Mr. Edgeworth. Do you have any proof that the card contains directions from the ringleader? I'll have you know that the card is not the only thing I was given. What? This contains security footage that was shot just before the start of KG8. The card and the video, these two pieces of evidence are what will seal your fate. Oh, very interesting. I must admit I am very curious now, very curious indeed in these case-deciding pieces of evidence you're presenting. The prey the Yatagarasu has been chasing now stands before me. I can't allow this man who has had free reign for 10 long years to simply walk away. Now is the time for bring to fruition the valiant spirit that was given to me. By the way, this is what I've been meaning to say. In game, it is March 15th, the Ides of March. Today is March 15th. We are going to beat this game on the Ides of March on the actual day. That was not intentional at all. I just think it's super cool. So what is this interesting thing that you wanted to show me? The trump card and the videotape. These two pieces of evidence together make for the ultimate hand. And this is where the real meaning behind Detective Bad's words will be realized. Detective Gumshoe. Hey, Huntress, nice to see you. Huntress came in just in time for the Ides of March too. What you see here is security footage shot just before. From the footage, we know the card is a directives card from the smuggling ring. This is the section that proves the card was used to relay an order. Wait. I'm assuming it's just the card itself. I'm gonna save just in case, though. I'm a little nervous.
Take that!
Okay. Whew. As you can see, Mr. Cochin is holding the card in his right hand. The killer was indeed holding a card with the exact same design. But that card and the one you have, just because they look the same, doesn't mean that they are, does it now? Ah, but there's a very easy way for me to prove that they are in fact one and the same. All we have to do is simply take a look at this. This dark red blood, this is your proof. Proof the orders were played out in that terrible tragedy. The blood belonged to the victim of the KG8 incident. With a bit of DNA testing, we can easily verify that as fact. If you have no objections, then I'd like for you to take a look at this next piece of footage. The car that passed by, it's an official Kodopian government car. Detective Gumshoe, if you could please magnify the footage. This area of footage directly links the smuggling ring with Kodopia.
Take that!
Ooh. Okay, that wasn't it. I'm glad we saved recently. Let's see what happens. That's right, Ozzy. I did it all on purpose. This is all part of my master plan. Okay, what would happen here? Now then, if I could ask you to please leave the premises. As you can see for yourself, I'm an old man, and I'm a bit tired from all of this. I've made up my mind, so if you could please leave. Agent Lang, a good job to you as well. Although, I don't think we'll ever be meeting again. What? Now then, please respect the request of the ambassador of the Kingdom of Alabast, and vacate the premises. It's fun to think he could do that this entire time. It's not even necessarily like... Alright. Let's try it again. Oh no, it's March 16th for Huntress. Darn. Okay, well, you'll just have to... Okay. It is indeed the card. It's holding the card. Let's enhance the image. Let's come up again. I really need to heal. I need to heal really badly. It's a very easy way for me to prove that they are in fact one and the same. We show off the blood. The blood will be shown. Confesses to killing a man and asks me to leave. I'd like for you to take a look at this next piece of footage. It's a Codopian embassy card. How is it really not that metal, though? Isn't that kind of crazy that I lost on that? Is it this, like, breast pockets? Let's save again. Yeah, maybe it's this right here? Is that the card, perhaps? The shape of this pocket and the directives card, it tells us without a doubt the person is Mr. Cochin. The license plate on the car was also captured by the security. We can easily find out who was sitting in this car on that day 10 years ago. Which is why I can say with confidence that you were riding in that car on that day. Ha! You've done well, boy, to make it this far. However, about your claim that I was riding in the car at the time, that's going to be mighty difficult to prove. How so? The Principality of Codopia no longer exists. Listen to this music. Naturally, all records from that time period also no longer exist. That arrogance. What he really means is he's already erased all traces. Are we finished here, boy? Look at that smile. The only weapon I have left to me now is the piece of footage. Yeah, again, this. It's gotta be this. There we go. What the? Ambassador Alba! You were once an army man in the service of Codopia. And it was you who made the many missions you participated in successes, correct? Huh, why the sudden backhanded praises, boy? Although to be sure, the brilliant medals on my breast were awarded to me during the era of Codopia. But now I am the only one who owns this particular medal. In that case, the only person it could be sitting in the car is you. How do you figure that? By the medal captured here in this footage. It is clearly the same exact medal as the one on your chest. What? This is how it will be, but I won't look back. For this is the path that I have chosen. You've moved me with your devotion to this case, Mr. Edgeworth. Why is he taking an arrogant stance? It's almost looking possible, isn't it, for the lot of you to come this far. It looks like I might just lose our little game this time. You might lose the game this time. You don't get another round, Mr. Ambassador. Is that a fact? Very well. I've decided to confess and admit my guilt. You're going to confess? And I will accept whatever punishment that may come as a result. What the? Regarding the Damas II murder, I admit it. I did it out of self-defense. You're claiming it was justified self-defense? Damas II attacked me, and I felt that my life was in danger. If I hadn't done what I did, I might be the one you found dead instead of him. Ha! What a pathetic performance. Ha 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 ha! I'm not giving you one. Wow, you two really know how to laugh at inappropriate times. If you wish to claim it was justified self-defense, we will need some evidence. It's always the evidence with you, isn't it? But if that's what you require, I'll provide it. The man left a mark on me when he attacked. I don't particularly want to show it off, but this is proof that it was in self-defense. I'm an old man, and sometimes I don't pay enough attention when I should. He looks so happy about this gun wound. But Damas II didn't have a single weapon on his body. Hold on. It's nothing to get worked over because I hid the weapon. You hid it? I'm sorry, but as you know, a murder is a murder, even if it isn't self-defense. And I couldn't let it become public, seeing as I am an ambassador. This is the weapon you seek, my special bonsai trimming shears. Ooh, it's covered in blood. He was trembling quite badly during our struggle, but that's when he grabbed the shears that were sitting in my office and attacked. So as you see, it was an act of self-defense. Is he right, Mr. Edgeworth? Since he has both a wound and the weapon that caused it, it's enough to declare it so. I'm so with you. No way. Oh, that reminds me. I guess there is still one more accusation I need to resolve. Smuggling and counterfeiting. Unfortunately, all of that is my secretary's doing. I had no knowledge it was going on. Stop spewing nonsense. You're trying to throw my investigation under the bus in your desperation. If you want to get real honest, everything in this case can be connected to you. The murder of Damas II was done in self-defense? In my trials, no man escapes his crime alive. Perhaps so, if you were my opponent in court. However, there was one very important fact that I think you may have forgotten. And what is that? Ah! Ah! That's what you mean. Extraterritoriality. Extraterritoriality. That's right. This embassy sits on what's now effectively Alabastan soil. So any trial that is to be held will be held in Alabast. Therefore, the crime I just admitted to will never be tried in your courts. Agent Lang, what is Interpol's stance on this? Agents investigate, that's our job. The judgment of people who have confessed to their crime, that's the court's job. Ugh. And I've already confessed to all of my crimes, Agent Lang. Furthermore, by the very nature of my position, I have full extraterritorial rights. These rights are effective even on your country's soil, therefore, no matter where a crime may take place, I will never stand trial in one of your courts. That arrogance and your expression, that's nothing like the face of someone who's ready to accept the consequences. Don't tell me you have your own country's judicial system eating out of your hands. These crimes you all speak so seriously of. To me, this has all been nothing more than a game. You may chase me out of this embassy with your accusations, but it's no big deal. Alabast has numerous other embassies in other countries around the world. All you would simply accomplish is that you would change the backdrop of our little game. These two layers of protection that extraterritoriality protects him with. This is why he is one of those who cannot be brought to court. You see now, don't you? I live in an entirely different world than you. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go and fetch your eviction papers. Ugh! Is there nothing we can do? Hey there, Furret. Can we please get a heal? Can we please get a heal? You can tell if certain wounds are self-inflicted due to angling and death. I believe that. If it were like more shallow or at a weird... Yeah, that's interesting. It's like, I guess, if we ever really needed to. Yo, Crow, nice to see... Oh my gosh, Crow, I never followed up with you about your emblems, did I? Holy cow. I am so sorry, my friend. Can you DM me again? I'm actually leaving. I'm leaving out of town Saturday and Sunday, but I promise I'll get to that because I'm off next week. I have no work next week. So, spring break. Yes. And there's nothing we can really do about that. In the end, we didn't have enough authority to bring him to justice. I can't believe that even though we know he's the boss, we can't lay a finger on him. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, sorry to skip out on you, but I got some business to take care of. If we can't even give an evil guy like him a slap on the wrist, then what the heck were laws created for? If the law can't help us, then I'll go as the Yatagarasu and take care of this myself. Don't you dare! Mr. Edgeworth. Sorry, that was a bit too harsh. I know how you feel, sir. We're trying to take on an ambassador after all. And did tell us earlier to get out. So it's kind of their country, I guess. But I feel like I've been slapped across the face just for doing my job. What am I going to do? Should I retreat for now and formulate a better plan of attack? Come on, everyone, we can't give up yet. Okay. I want you to think on something for a second. That's exactly right, Huntress. We've never given up for even a second, and as long as we don't stop investigating, we might find the rotten treasure hidden here. She's right! Come on, Mr. Edgeworth. You're right, Kay. Very well, let us reopen the investigation and see what we find. Okay. I'll go check out Bobble a bit more, sir. And I have something that I need to investigate further in Alabast. Kay doing Kate things. Now then, before I gather any more information, I should do a bit of housekeeping. Passion flowers were erased. Ambassador Alba seemed agitated over something. There are two special circumstances that surround the ambassador. The embassy itself has extraterritorial rights. We are unable to legally prosecute him on Alabastian soil. Yes. He used the embassy's coupon printing press to do it. It's the same story over there anyway. Bobble also has extraterritorial rights. The ambassador's extraterritorial rights, they're effective even in our own country. No matter what happens, he can never be tried in our courts. He retains some very special rights indeed. Basically, no matter what wrongs he may commit, we can't bring him to trial here. So I guess we really don't stand a chance, do we? We might stand a chance if we can somehow nullify either one of his special rights. We'll use Bobbly's printing press. I wonder... I guess, are we going straight into logic? Okay, we need to save again, first of all. Holy cow, we gotta save a lot. It's gonna get real awkward if we die again. Any one thing will get us. Any one thing will get us. Wow, 2009. That makes this game 15 years old. Holy cow. Alright. The renovations. What does he not want us to investigate? The Bobbly's Embassy's printing press. We know that the counterfeit bills were printed using the embassy's press, but the necessary materials such as ink and paper must have been hidden in a secure location. What do you think would have happened if the renovation had begun? He probably had to find a better hiding spot or get rid of it all. Right, so we can assume that the renovation was the cause of the plate and bills disposal, and the reason Mr. Cochin was killed as the ringleader. Based on what we know, who do you think was the one with the most to gain? It's the one person who's been erasing all evidence of the smuggling operation. Ambassador Alba had a very strong motive to kill Manny Cochin. He could conveniently place all the guilt. Wings! Oh man, I wish I had wings. I wish I had some wings right now. The cause of Ambassador Alba's agitation, the rotten treasure, and the motive for killing Mr. Cochin. As you said it herself that she didn't kill anyone tonight. If we were to take her words at face value, then the reason for the ambassador's nervousness can only be one thing. He didn't want us to discover the real circumstances under which Cochin was killed. You mean Ambassador Alba's the real killer, but I thought the two of them were friends. Maybe they were, but what if Mr. Cochin was the one who first betrayed their friendship? Yeah, wasn't Mr. Cochin pushing really hard for Mr. Poleno to be ambassador after the reunification? That was the real reason he wanted to steal the Prima Duck statue. Cochin hired Damas II to go steal it. When Alba found out what he was up to, he killed Cochin. It's definitely a possibility. How did he do it? He was in Alabast, but Cochin's body was in Bobble. On the orders of Ambassador Alba, no one is allowed inside Alabast. She's from Interpol and had the proper paperwork. Sounds like Francisca. Besides, if I didn't, that whip of hers. Yep, definitely Francisca. Hello, and welcome to the Embassy of Babel. I'm sorry, I don't really need to enter your country at this time. Don't have any available. Gonna make some nuggies. What kind of nuggies, Huntress? I wonder if in Germany they have chicken, dinosaur chicken nuggies. Okay, how am I supposed to investigate? Am I just investigating in this room? Taken just before the two ambassadors gave their bouquets. Wait, is it just my imagination? Or is there something in this picture I've seen before? Here's to be a bouquet. What exactly is a yellow flower here? That one, I'm not sure. As far as I can recall, I've never seen a flower like this before, but I feel as though I've seen this shape somewhere. It's the Codopian one, isn't it? Oh, is it the Yatagarasu's knife? Okay, first off, we need to save again. I'm also curious again what would happen if we died. Something about dinosaur nuggets. Something about dinosaur nuggets. They're just like, I don't know. They're just funny. I mean, they're not even really that great, if we're being honest. But they're very, I don't know. They're just kind of like homely. Better than normal nuggies. I'll say similarly, I feel like Halloween Oreos are better than regular Oreos. That is something I believe. Just an eccentric design. Who knew they were actually arrow fletchings? Yeah, what are some favorite Oreo flavors you guys have? Oh, is it that? Oh yeah, it's even missing a piece of the flower. Babel's national symbol is the butterfly, and Alabas is the flower. It appears that someone has employed the old hide a tree in a forest trick. The handle on this knife! It's the handle that was supposed to be on the blade that killed Mr. Cochin. The weapon that killed him was carried through the Theatrum Neutralis. The flower motif. One of the flower petals is missing. The knife is most definitely the same as the murder weapon. Double stuff's great. For a time, they even had, like, mega stuff. They were, like, this big. It was hysterical. I understand why Alba was nervous and agitated. It must have something to do with where Mr. Cochin was killed. A place where the Alabastan ambassador was likely to meet him.
Take that!
Here in the neutral ground. The only place that makes sense is here, the Theatrum Neutralis. The Goodwill event was being held here. The only place that both of them would have been here is here. If that's the case, everything changes. This theater isn't actually on Alabastan land, so that wipes out one of those extraterritorial rights. It's a reason for us to investigate further. Let's see. I believe we should check the immigration records for both Alabast and Bobble. Probably Alabast. I wonder if they would allow us. Oh, Francisca. I'm already one step ahead of you, Miles Edgeworth. Francisca, I have here the security footage from both Alabast and Bobble. I like that we're all working together. I like that we're all working together. You move fast. Avant Karma strives to be perfect in every way. It's not in my nature to keep on retreating like this. I even took the liberty of looking over the Bobble investigation reports as well. From now on, you will make no excuse to back down or say we can't solve this case. I'm sorry about earlier. My cute little subordinate is going to try his very best, isn't he? Hasn't she patronized me enough already for a lifetime? So this video contains footage from Alabast's immigration screening. I really hope there's something in here we can use. Me too. I'm with you, Sekai. And actually, even Manfred von Karma had like kind of a positive flashback right there not too long ago. Oh. Doesn't something about this lump shape strike you as odd? There's clearly something odd about the bulge. Let us check the footage from Bobble Security. That's right, the Iron Infant, huh? Phooey, there wasn't a single sign of a suspicious person. That right there is the contradiction. You didn't miss anything, because there was nothing to miss. However, what is missing is the image of Mr. Cochin entering his own country. It would appear that the true face of our final puzzle has finally revealed itself. We got healed! Yo! We got healed! Ambassador Alba. I thought I asked for you and your group to vacate the premises, Mr. Edgeworth. Actually, I thought I should let you know this theater sits on my country's soil. You've had your fun and I've enjoyed our little game. I dare say you've even achieved a new high score. However, since you've only recorded a score, once you've recorded it, the same game can never be replayed again. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Your game is done and it's game over. No.
Objection!
Where do you think you're going at this time of night? After admitting to my crime, I was overcome with regret. So I'm headed to the airport now to return home. I'm afraid I can't let you do that. There are still too many issues we need to discuss. You can't stop me, Mr. Edgeworth, and you know it. Ugh. Ooh. Please, may I have a little bit of your time, Ambassador Alba? Ambassador Polano. Even just a teeny bit is fine with me. The already strained relationships between our countries is in a precarious situation, you know. Very well. If you insist. I will play just one more round with them and see what they want. Not that they'll get any farther. Ambassador Polano. Mr. Edgeworth, all I wish is for the normalization of relationships between our countries, but there is one person standing in the way of that dream. I believe in you. You'll do what's right. Thank you for your vote of confidence. Now then, what was it you wanted to ask me about? I do have a flight to catch after all, so I'm afraid I'm going to have to limit you to just one question. That's more than enough, because I have only one question anyway. I want to hear your alibi about how you couldn't have killed Manor Cochin. You seem to have a good hand this time around. This should be fun. This really is the very last chance we have to bring him down. I won't allow even an atom-sized contradiction to slip by. Honestly, Huntress, I kind of, that's my headcanon as well. Frankly, I still don't understand why I'm being placed under suspicion. Under your hypothetical scenario, Mr. Cochin and I were fellow smugglers. But to get to the point, I was in Alabast the whole time. So it's simply not possible for me to have killed him in Bobble. That is my alibi. So that is your alibi. That is correct. It's simply not possible for me to have committed a crime in Bobble. Now that we've cleared that up, I'd appreciate it if you move out of my way. I said hold it! What is it this time? I thought I told you I'd only allow one question. Huh. You did. But you still have yet to really answer my one question. What? Until you tell us the truth. I refuse to budge an inch from where I'm standing. Huh. Very well. I'll play with you just a little longer. Miles Edgeworth as my subordinate and representative of this country's prosecutors. Of course. That is something I've understood from the start. Honestly, though, it's true. That guy's the one who ordered my father killed, isn't he? Yes, I believe so. The goal of the first Yatagarasu was the capture of the smuggling ring's leader. My father and Uncle Bad. Their legacy will live on through me. That's why I gotta catch him, right? We will, I promise. Now, Ambassador Alba, let's have it the truth now, shall we? No matter how many times you ask, my answer remains the same. Even just in this game, I think basically every case, there's a girl falling for Edgeworth. Frankly, I don't understand why I'm being placed under suspicion. Under your hypothetical scenario, we were fellow smugglers. I was in Alabas the whole time. I don't believe that. Let's see. And what exactly did you do while you were in Alabast? I had a meeting with a steel samurai and I arranged a few files. Around the time that thief who was sneaking in took me by surprise. Are you saying it was Damas II that made the first move? Yes, and it was after that where I hit him on the head with the Prima Duck statue. He died from the blow, but it was an act of justified self-defense. Calling it that doesn't cover up what you really did. Cover up? No, my boy, I'm not covering up anything, I'm telling the truth. You weren't planning to admit to it, which is why you've tried to frame the steel samurai. If you weren't an ambassador, I'd be letting my whip fly loose on you right now. I'm terribly sorry I didn't clean up the body better, but I am a busy man. I had a speech to give in the Rose Garden after that, you know. Yet despite that, you really did have to kill Mr. Cochin, didn't you? Whoa. That was our first objection from him. Objection. Man is evil, and I'm sure you're familiar with the facts. Mr. Cochin was killed in Babel, while I was all the way in Alabast. You know, that's Reggie as well. He's so smart and dignified and proper. Wait, what? Whose name unfunny? Whose name did you look up? You insist that it's not possible for you to have killed Mr. Cochin. And you are correct. I thought you would put up a bit more of a fight, but if you must concede to me. The only thing I'm conceding is that it's not possible for you to have killed him in Babel. I am not conceding that your alibi is the truth. What does Quercus Alba mean? Or Alba Quercus? Alba Quercus? I don't know. You'd be wise not to underestimate a prosecutor of this country. Mr. Cochin was a friend of Ambassador Alba. Why did the ambassador kill him? It's not like in the case of my father where he ordered someone to do it. The problem we have here is we don't know what their exact relationship was. Indeed, if they had a complete trust in each other, there's no motive for murder. However, both men were very selfish. Oh, Quercus alba's the scientific name for the white oak tree? Unfunny, would you do me a favor? Would you add that to the Trello page for this game? I want to add, that's a good thing to talk about in the video. That's kind of cool, actually. I don't understand why I'm under suspicion. We're fellow smugglers. Not a hypothesis. We proved it to be what happened. Ha! Well, let's leave that to one side for now. It doesn't change the fact that I have no motive. Oh, so you really had no reason to kill Mr. Cochin. If you want to suppose I had one, then why not? I'll indulge you. After all, this is nothing more than a silly game to me. Even if that's how you see things, I'd appreciate if you take me more seriously. I'm sorry, I suppose you are in a bit of a pickle. Very well, a game is no fun if the playing field isn't level. Therefore, I formally claim that I had no motive to kill. Now let's see you disprove it. How can he stand there looking proud when he knows he killed another human being? In that case, what motive would I have had to kill my co-conspirator? I have no idea why I'm under suspicion. Are you serious? that just because you were partners, you had no reason to kill him. I'm only following our hypothetical scenario to its logical conclusion. Actually, unfunny, would you do me a favor? Would you look up the puns for all the characters? Maybe not every character. That's probably too many, but at least in this last case. Like, I wonder what Manny Cochin or Ambassador Poleno, what was his first name? Colias Poleno. I wonder if that's a tree, maybe? He's not going to admit that he was in leagues with Mr. Cochin. But I do know his relation to the smuggling ring and Mr. Cochin. That he's the ringleader. Correct, but I know more than just that. Miss Monkarma, I'm sure you remember the safe in Mr. Cochin's office, too. The safe had 2 compartments to it, didn't it? Why do you think those stolen goods were being stored in Mr. Cochin's office? Could it be because he was trying to cheat Ambassador Alba behind his back? So Mr. Cochin didn't turn the goods over, but decided instead to keep them for himself. I suppose that's possible. It seems to me that both men were only concerned with their own wealth and well-being. That means that maybe they didn't have a trusting relationship after all. When Ambassador had a gain, I believe is his motive. What are you people whispering about amongst yourselves over there? I'm sorry to have kept you waiting. Now then, let's continue with your testimony. What motive would I have had? Okay, how about the fact that Damask...
Objection!
Yep, Cochin hired Damask to steal the statue. If you want to know, I believe you did have a motive to kill. It was because Mr. Cochin had betrayed you. But you had your own reason too, namely you wanted to pin the smuggling all on him. Evil begets evil, and because you were trying to test each other, it turned into a mess. I don't believe this. You have a bad penchant for telling tall tales, Mr. Prosecutor. And if you're not, then I suppose you have some proof to support your argument. I never use guesswork. It has been proven that this note was written by Mr. Cochin. Shall we take a look at it? The content of this note is a request calling for the theft. Ha! By killing him and pushing all the guilt on the smuggling onto you, you walk away spotless. I believe you understand what I'm driving at. You had more than a few reasons to kill him. Are you finished with your hypothesizing? Excuse me? Let's suppose I did have a motive. Even so, a motive or two or even a thought can't kill. Isn't that right? I didn't expect him to resort to playing the semantics game with me. It appears that this is where the real battle will begin. Now then, if you'll please excuse me. What? What? I told you at the very beginning, didn't I? You only get one question. Ah, the Moreland Clouded Yellow Butterfly. Oh, like their symbol. I love that. The tree and the butterfly. Ambassador Alba, if you could please give us just a little bit more of your time. It doesn't matter what kind of man Manny was, he was my subordinate. Which is why I would like for us to know the real cause of his death. That is something for Babel to figure out, and something to which I have no relation to. Now he's even turning down a request for Ambassador Poleno. I'm very sorry, but it seems even now my voice falls on deaf ears. There's no need for you to apologize, Ambassador Poleno. We must find some way to stop him from leaving. There are no further objections. Please allow me to return home. Hold it right there, Ambassador Alba. Okay. Like I said, Mr. Edgeworth, the Atagarasu's legacy will live on through me. How do you suggest we stop him from leaving? Ambassador Alba, do you recognize this? No, and why should I recognize that tattered old organizer? Wait, where have I seen that before? This is a clue my father, Byrne Faraday, left for us. Did you say Byrne Faraday? Mr. Faraday's organizer? Don't tell me this is the one from the second KG-8 incident. Hey, Sid! It's nice to see you, Sid. Oh, wait, you're depressed. Oh, no. Well, I'm sad you're lurking. I'd like to ask you about that, but I hope you're doing well. I mean, maybe not if you're depressed, but... Yes, this organizer belonged to the prosecutor you had Miss Yu kill 7 years ago. Huh, I have no idea what you're even talking about. You say it like it was related to me. Inside this organizer, he wrote up every detail of every evil thing you did. What an amusing little girl you are, but that sort of trickery won't work on me. If you won't believe me, then take a look at this. And what is that toy there? This thievery device was used by the Atagarasu, or rather, by my father. Look at that wind blowing in her scarf. She's so cool. 7 years ago, he used this when he snuck into this embassy. What? Well, that's right, he did. These two pieces of evidence that hold information the Yatagarasu dug up on you. If you go home now, I won't hesitate to send it all to Alabasta right behind you. Little girl, get to the point. I want you to go up against Mr. Edgeworth one more time. If you win, then I'll hand over these two pieces of evidence. Yatagarasu, ever the thorn in my side. Okay, does that organizer really contain any information? It's nothing case-breaking, really. Ah, then it was just a bluff. Even if it was, we still can't let all the info my father and Uncle Bad found go to waste. Plus, just the existence of Little Thief is troublesome enough for him. Those two pieces, aren't they keepsakes of your father? It's okay. I believe in Mr. Edgeworth. He'll come out on top in the end. When the going gets tough, someone's got to be back there to put the wind back in your sails. After all this time, you're still quite the feisty one. I applaud your powerful nature. Still a spark plugs. I refuse to lose too. Ambassador Alba, you won't be returning home until you give us further testimony. How dare you all, barring a person like me. Ambassador Alba, your testimony if you please. Alright, but this is the absolute last. And even if you use all the power of Ambassador Paleno's office, you won't stop me. I can't let this opportunity go to waste. The last time I met with Mr. Cochin was here in Theatrum Neutralis. After that, I was in Alabasta the rest of the time. In any case, I did not see Mr. Cochin again after that, so you see there's no time span in which I could have killed him, wouldn't you agree? Now, since you people were practically begging, I'll allow you to question me. What an arrogant old man. Yes, but no matter, we can't allow this chance to escape us. I will warn you, though, you've reached the end of my patience. Waste my time with any inane questions and you'll be punished. So any needless pressing or presenting will cost more to our case. In that case, the only thing you can do is present the correct evidence. Understood? Of course. I don't intend to let him intimidate me. I know Mr. Cochin was killed because he returned to Babel. There's only one statement in which I need to present the evidence. This is kind of cool. This is pretty rare for this to happen. This is a rare thing for you to be punished by anything you try to do. I was in Alabasta the rest of the time. In any case, I did not see Mr. Cochin. There is no time span in which I could have killed him, wouldn't you agree? You're right, Huntress. Let's save just to be sure. Good point. Always gotta save. Ooh, I think the video recording? She stole the win from somewhere else. I was in Alabasta the rest of the time. There was no time frame. In any case, I did not see Mr. Cochin again. Last time I met with Cochin was here at the Theatrum Neutralis. Okay, we need to look at our evidence. We need to look at our evidence. From SpongeBob. The Steel Samurai passed. That's interesting. The bolt is unnatural. The Steel Samurai pushed through Alabasta. That is really interesting. The security footage. Ambassador Alba. It's interesting that Ambassador Alba left before the Iron In. The murder weapon can be seen. At that time, I was in Alabasta. Oh, that's not even true. He was in Alabasta the whole time. Right? Oh, no. He met with Mr. Cochin here at the Theatrum Neutralis, which means it takes place... Do we have a time frame for when this photo was taken? I'd like you to take a look at this picture. It's a rather nice picture, isn't it? To commemorate the restoration of relations between our nations. Oh, it's commemorative, all right. One that captures the proof I need to show it was you who committed the murder. We have the knife right there. I see you recognize it as well as you should, for it was you who brought it to this theater. You hid it in amongst the flowers you were to give to the Steel Samurai. Meaning you killed Manny Cochin here at that theater. It's time for me to catch my flight. We're not through yet. I love the way he puts his hand up. It's game over for you, Miles Edgeworth. But I thank you for the entertainment. No matter how passionately you orate, the end result will still be the same. I won't be returning to this country ever again. That's right. This man is an ambassador, and he has extraterritorial rights. No matter how hard we chase after him, we won't be able to have him tried in court. That's exactly the face you should be making. The face of a worthless cur. Now then, ladies and gentlemen, I must bid you farewell. The courts. Is there no one who can lay a finger on this man? Is this really the end? Yo! Look at that image. Agent Lang! Sorry to keep you waiting, Mr. Prosecutor. Get out of my way. My plane is scheduled to take off soon. Sorry, but you're not going anywhere, Mr. Alba. I'm through playing games with you people. You can't touch me. If you do, it would spark an international incident, Agent Lang. Hey, Wombat, what have you missed? Oh, Wombat, no, the lady did not do the crime. Wombat, this old man did the crime, and we are trying our best to get him, but he keeps trying to slip away from us because he's an ambassador. Nice to see you, Wombat. Sorry, but no, it wouldn't. And that's right. Talk to the hand, he says. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor. Good job holding the fort down here till I got back. So, Mr. Alba, your diplomatic immunity has just been revoked. What do you mean, revoked? Spare me this nonsense and let me through. Lang Zi says, before aiming for the throat, chew the neck shield off first. Interpol headquarters in the imperial household of the Kingdom of Alabast. Took a while to get things rolling, but they finally moved on it. The imperial household? You, what have you done? You've been relieved of your duties as ambassador, Mr. Alba. What? 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 Effective today, effective right now. And you have Mr. Prosecutor's videotape to thank for this. The video the Yatagarasu protected. You can't be arrested simply because you're an ambassador. In that case, I thought I'd strip you of that title. You underestimated me, a descendant of the House of the Detainment Philosophy, Lang Zi. 4,000 years of deeply entrenched connections and networks all around the world have really paid off. Look at him. It can't be. I don't believe this. My ambassadorship has been revoked. Looks like you're finally coming to grips with a new standing. Woohoo! Looks like he's turned docile again. He's probably in shock from the loss of his shield. What a shame. I had so wanted to use my whip on him. Why is this happening to me? I'm just a hard-working, honest ambassador. Do you really think you can still pull this on it now? We've already ripped away the mask and seen you for who you really are, Mr. Alba. No, I won't be stopped now. He still intends to fight us? So what if I am no longer an ambassador, You still don't have any evidence on me. The fact remains that you cannot arrest me. Ha! I'd expected no less from you, the boss of the smuggling ring. Well, the rest is up to you, Mr. Prosecutor. Understood. You say that I killed Mr. Cochin in the theater. But even if it's true that there was a knife in my bouquet, I left that bouquet in the theater. So anyone could have taken it out there and used it, right? Besides, the claim that he was killed there itself is odd. After all, wasn't his body discovered in Babel? Are you claiming that I carried his body all the way over there? Huh, preposterous. I'll be the one to prove whether it's preposterous or not. Ex-Ambassador Alba, are you ready? Because this is no game. This is war. Oh, what a cool line. I killed Mr. Cochin in the theater using a knife that was stuck in my bouquet. Oh, good night, Tag. Good night, T-Tag. Anyone could have taken that knife from there. Besides, Mr. Cochin's body was discovered in Babel, right? There's no way for me to have transported his body from the theater there. Look, don't you think you've had enough fun with me? You've already stolen my ambassadorship from me. Will you have me surrender to? You have no plans to ever return to this country, is that right? Did you know that a bunch of your subordinates are seeking asylum because of you? Ha! As if I care. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, boot this guy out of the embassy and we can finally end everything. I know, and I'll give it up my all to make sure that he sees and leaves in handcuffs. Without the title of ambassador, he is just another witness. Yes, just another witness. Alright, what are we waiting for? Let's get this guy. And get him good. I wonder if they understand that all I can do is present evidence to the testimony. Went right there. I'm with you, TJ. I'm with you, TJ. That has to be the case, right? I killed him using a knife that was stuck in my bouquet. That's right, as I explained earlier. The commemorative photo has that knife on your personage. You have no proof that that bouquet was done by me. Excuse me? The fact that there was a knife in the bouquet was something I wasn't aware of. What a pathetic excuse. The weapon that was used is one of your national treasures. It isn't exactly something anyone other than you could touch, let alone take. I allowed some of my trusted subordinates to handle them. It could have been my secretary. You're an even bigger slimeball than I thought. You would push the guilt of Mr. Cochin's murder onto one of your subordinates. Huh. In any case, the fact that the knife was in the bouquet means nothing. I left it there. Anyone could have taken it. Besides, Mr. Cochin's body was discovered in Babel, right? There's no way for me to have transported his body.
Hold it!
Emerald Ruby! Hello to you. Even if he was found in Babel, he was killed somewhere else. Stop bluffing, because you can't prove what you're claiming. If this were a court-martial, you'd have already been removed from the room. Are you taunting us on purpose? Because I'd be happy to show you my claws. Hold on, Agent Lang. Allow me to fight him my way with evidence. I was just joking. I'm not so easily ruffled by the likes of him. Too bad. Though I'm no longer an ambassador, it still could have been an international incident. If you have the will to threaten us with that mouth of yours, perhaps you can use it to return to the testimony. The double eye patch. Yeah, he really would. This old tree of a man. Or this old man of a tree, either way. It's not really so. You could have easily blackmailed your subordinates to be quiet. That's quite an insult to be in my subordinates. I'm afraid we can't have that. It's very difficult to enter an embassy as the guards always conduct a thorough check. If someone makes so much as an unnatural movement, it would arouse their suspicions. Come to think of it, there wasn't anything unnatural about him in the footage. Wait. Let me think about that for a second. Mr. Alba said the guard would become suspicious if someone acted unnaturally. But then by the same token, the guard would not become suspicious if someone were to act naturally. If we retrace Mr. Alba's movements, we should find some hints to solving this case. Oh, right after the Steel Samurai stage show, he was back to Alabast, right? From there, he started preparing for his speech. It does sound like it wasn't possible for him to have gone to the Babalese embassy. He couldn't have gone to Babel, but the body didn't remain at the theater either. Is it possible the body was temporarily taken to a different location first? Okay, I'm thinking it's either the footage, we either show the footage of this pushcart with the steel samurai. I think, is there an earthquake happening? Huh, okay, maybe not.
Objection!
That was, I felt like some strange rumblings. There we go. We got it. Actually, I believe there is a way to transport the body out of the theater. Perhaps you should give this a look. What's that? Hedgehog. Hedgehog is Quercus alba. Hedgehog is Quercus alba because this man's a tree and he loves Woodman. What is that supposed to be? It's footage from a security camera that captured the state of the immigration area. Should I congratulate you on getting your hands on it? Just letting you know, we're not the only ones watching your every movement. Ha! Thanks for the warning. Now, if you could please take a look at that section here. This lump here inside the pushcart, do you know what's causing it? Should I? Because I don't. Huh. In that case, allow me to enlighten you. I'm guessing it's Mr. Cochin's body. It got put inside there.
Take that!
Yeah, I knew it. What is the meaning of showing me that? It's to say that the unnatural bulge is Mr. Cochin's body. You had the steel samurai wheel his body away from the real crime scene. What a guess. But I wonder if you have any evidence to support it. I admit that for now it's but a hypothesis, however. If you can't even prove it, I'm afraid I must be on my way. I don't have any more time to play with you people. Detective Gumshoe! Sorry it took so long, Mr. Edgeworth, sir! Oh, does Gumshoe finally get a time to shine? Does he finally get a chance to shine? Gummy? Detective Gumshoe, is that the Steel Samurai's pushcart? Yes, sir! I found it in the open-air stage area. So that's where you went. The detective spirit that Pops left me with, I thought I'd follow my gut and go with it, sir. So, Mr. Edgeworth, is this worth anything in the case? Yes. It might just play a major role in solving it, detective. But something isn't right. I thought the entire samurai family was in Alabast. Where exactly in the open-air stage area did you find it? I found it as lying there at the edge of the stage, sir. Well, let's leave that for now and examine the inside, detective. Look at that blood. It's blood! This must be... Detective Gumshoe, did you not look at the pushcart when you brought it in here? Which only goes to prove that Mr. Cochin's body was indeed transported by this pushcart. I believe you understand what this means, correct? You killed Mr. Cochin at the theater and then placed his body inside the pushcart. And then... you forced the Steel Samurai to unwittingly move the body! I forced him to move the body into Alabast? What nonsense! Why would I bother to do such a thing? You were scheduled to make a speech in Alabast, meaning it was difficult for you to make a stop in Babel. However, what if you moved the body to Alabast? Because it was your embassy, you could keep an eye on it and tamper with the evidence. Then you smuggled it out of Alabast. No! If I can show how you move the body, then I win. But you can't! The security between the two countries is incredibly tight. I'll be the one to judge whether or not I can prove it. And so I ask you to provide us with testimony regarding your movements. Miles Edgeworth, Have you figured it out? Do you know how the body was moved? To be honest, I have nothing to support my hypothesis. However, I don't believe I made a mistake in my logic. Which means... there's no question that it can't be answered, right? The prima duck statue was smuggled successfully. So why shouldn't there be an answer as to how the body was moved? Which means that there must be a logic flaw somewhere I can exploit. After I returned to Alabast, I had my picture taken with the Steel Samurai. Then, just as I was about to start my speech, the Yatagarasu appeared. I feared for the national treasure, so I raced back to my office. Is that all? Yes, that's all. It looks like you left out a few things, such as the murder of Damask II. You left out the part about meeting with me in your office. Ah, those trifling matters. I don't believe I need to speak of those things again. I do so hate to waste time. What? Is not every life precious? Do you really need me to answer that for you? People like you cannot be allowed to wander freely through society. Huh. Then you'd better try hard, because I doubt you'll find a single contradiction. He's really full of himself, isn't he? Yes, he is. How can he be so confident at a time like this? Come on, don't be shy. Go ahead and ask whatever you'd like. After I returned to Alabast, I had my picture taken. This man will not stop, will he? So why was it only the Steel Samurai? I thought the Pink Princess was also around. The Pink Princess was suffering from a bad hip, and the doctors recommended that she rest. You do have a soft side, after all. The pain of a bad hip. I suppose none of you really understand how it feels. Oh, so you tend to strain your back as well, huh? But isn't that just because you're normally all hunched over? He did need to keep up his act no matter what, I suppose. Huh. The point of this is not to discuss my back problems. For about 15 minutes after our handshake, I was in the office preparing for the speech. Then just as I was about to start it, the Yatagarasu appeared. That was just a trick you set up! A most amusing joke. And how do you propose that I set it up? If you really want to know, I can explain it in detail. You arrange the spotlights in the Rose Garden. The audience would see the Yatagarasu's shadow. Oh, that's an interesting tale. Sadly, it has nothing to do with me. You. What's it gonna take for you to fess up to anything? Very well, then let's move on to a different question. After the Yatagarasu appeared, what was the state of the Rose Garden? Everyone took refuge inside the embassy. I even helped with the effort. And then, once everyone was inside, well... I feared for the national treasure, so I raced back to my office. And what happened after you returned to your office? I don't want to keep on repeating this. However, upon my return, I had that stroke of bad luck and bumped into Mask Man. And I don't want to keep on repeating this either. But his name was Damask II. Huh. Who cares what he was called? By the time he got to the prima duck statue that he was supposed to steal, it had already been swapped for the fake. Talk about an unlucky man. Being bludgeoned to death with a fake statue. Miss Von Karma's really letting her whip fly now. I think the scary part is her silence while she's doing it. She must be at the limit of her patience as well. But physical attacks are meaningless here. Only evidence will suffice. I can't find a single flaw in his argument. At this rate, I won't be able to prove that he's actually guilty of anything. Are we finished here? Miles Edgeworth, can you not come up with how the body was moved? Sir! Mr. Edgeworth! Even after proving so much, is he gonna get away with it? No. Is this the end? It appears that we made it just in time. Who is it? The Steel Samurai! Everyone makes a dramatic entrance. It would be a great honor if you would allow us to be your allies in battle. Evil Magistrate, it's time for you to pay. It's the Steel Samurai? No, you are mistaken, for I am Steel Samurai Daddy, married man of Neo Old Tokyo. And this is Pink Princess Mommy. Edgy Poo. Ugh. The two people that I wanted to see the least. Larry! What are you two doing here? Way to show your gratitude, Edgy. We just wanted to help, yeesh. I'm gonna get the bad guy with a single thrust of my samurai spear. Go away! That's... Go away. How could you be so mean to us, Edgy-Poo? All three of us came here to lend us a hand, and that's how you treat us. Well, this isn't this grand, and I see they managed to find the Iron Infant. Does that really matter right now? Hey! Is it just me, or is it completely soaked? Oh, yeah, I found him in Bobble, but he was in the middle of the pool. Wait a second. Larry, go back to what you just said. Huh? Oh, it appears we made it. Not that far back. Something about finding the Iron Infant in Bobble. And he found it in a pool? I don't recall there being one in Bobble. Oh, that! Well, I was in Alabas the whole time, so I have no idea how the Iron Infant wound up in Bobble. I thought I lost him in the Rose Garden, but I guess maybe this cute kid can swim, huh? Wait, what? Larry! You lost the Iron Infant in the Rose Garden? Are you sure about that? Yeah, I'm sure. But I found him in... That's enough, Larry! The Iron Infant that Larry lost managed to move between the two countries. Furthermore, the Iron Infant was found soaked in the middle of a pool. This is what I've been looking for. It's another smuggling route between the countries. The key to the route that the Iron Infant took... Oh, it's gotta be the fact that both of them are the same. The embassy was built with bilateral symmetry in mind. Detective Gumshoe! Yes, sir! There's a location I wish for you to examine post-haste. It's where I believe the route to smuggle the body is. An embassy built on bilateral symmetry. We should check right here, huh?
Take that!
Yes, sir! I'll be back before you know it. It's too late. It doesn't matter what you do now. It's all a waste of time. You will stay here with us and wait. This is Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth! It's here, sir! There's a reservoir here just like in the Rose Garden. Just as I suspected. What is it? The two sides of this embassy are mirror images, which means that there is also a pool at the corresponding location. Mr. Cochin's body was moved into Bobble through the pool in Alabas. Avoiding the topic with a vague answer like that is unbecoming of a prosecutor. If you don't mind, I'd like to see more physical proof if you have any. The Iron Infant is positively soaked in water. Why do you think that is? It's because he was fished out of a pool, and not just any pool. It was a Bobblese one. I think it's pretty obvious at this point. The water reservoirs in the two countrysides are connected. And where is your proof that the two sides are connected? The proof is right there before your eyes. The half-drowned Iron Infant. What? This is blasted doll! Mr. Edgeworth, I'm back. Hey, don't tell me. You guys figured everything out without me? We did, thanks to this hero of justice's son. Even if he's just a doll, he managed to help foil the villain. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, look, I don't want to say this, but it's kind of unlikely the body just happened to have passed on through Babel. This guy's a doll and he's small, so I can believe he made it, but... he has a point. Yes, that's right. I'm glad someone here understands. Mr. Edgeworth, are you going to next propose that a dead body can swim through a pipe? You see, Mr. Prosecutor, our chase after this man is far from over. Agent Lang. Why is he helping Mr. Alba now? He's not. He realizes a flaw in my argument and is helping to move the logic along. In which case, I should return the favor and find an answer. And another thing, Mr. Cochin's body was found in his office. So what happened to his body after it was transported in the open air stage? Huh. Mr. Alba had an accomplice in Babel, remember? You mean Sheena, right? With her there, you can see how it was possible to move the body up to the office. Are you seriously claiming that she swam through the connecting pipe? He's right. Miss Sheena would drown if she did that. It's hard to imagine that she swam through the connecting pipe. Looks like her hypothesis about how the body was moved is still only half-baked. In the end, it's all just the befuddled musings of an accusatory man. Now then, I believe you should give up and allow me passage. Because from the start, there was no feasible method of transporting the body. Mr. Prosecutor, recall Sheena's movements. What was happening in the embassy around the time that Miss Sheena was there in Babel? Oh, if only there was a way to get rid of the water in the pool. Get rid of the water. Aha! That's it! Now I believe this time we are really done, right? Unfortunately for you, it's far from over, Mr. Alba. You are a most persistent man. Are you saying you've thought of a way to move the body through the water? The body through the water? That is completely unrelated to how it was done. Excuse me. The reason I say that is because there wasn't any water there at the time. What do you mean there wasn't any water? Just what it sounds like. Tonight's events made it possible to drain the water, allowing the body to be moved. Is it the spouts? Or is it the pick? It auto-refills when the water level's too low. Tonight's events made it possible to drain the water. Does that mean I should show proof of the speech that happened, or? Oh, the fire! Right? Yeah, the fire! Tonight, the Yatagarasu set fire to a variety of locations in the Babalese embassy. In order to put the fires out, much of the reservoir's water were used. Of course, the reservoir's water level went down. If enough was drained, the connecting pipe could be used to traverse the border. Huh. So what? The water level went down? The reservoirs were connected? Does any of this matter? You can't prove any of it. Huh. Pretending to be ignorant won't work with me. We both know what kind of situation we're in right now. Even in a game, there are critical game-changing moments. A moment in which you hit a wall that you must overcome in order to beat the game. I haven't lost yet. I found the route you used to smuggle the body, and that route will lead to your defeat. Even if all the water was used by the firefighting effort, you still can't really call that a smuggling route. Huh. I know that. I should have figured out you'd notice. Hey, Mr. Alba, how deep are those pools anyway? I'll have you know those pools are extremely deep. Hey, Kirito, I love horchata. Horchata is like probably a top drink. Probably like a top 5 drink for me. Love the cinnamon, love the milk. It's like rice milk, right, I think? And there are no ladders or footholds either. It would be difficult for Sheena to hold the body and climb out of the pool. Ladders or footholds along the walls? There was no need for such things. What do you mean? If one were to use a certain something, they would go up or down the pool at will. Well, what are you waiting for, Mr. Prosecutor? Alright, the water level would rise, is that it? The way in which Miss Sheena and the body were able to rise. If there was a way to control the water level... Oh, so I guess the body was wet, and that's why the body wasn't as burned. There could be a way the body was moved. Here we go.
Take that!
That's right, Wombat. The spouts for sure. I'm with you. Oh, that's funny. That's funny, NTH. You just went crazy, huh? Did you do a new game plus? He used the fountain spouts. How so? The water level in the pools can be controlled by opening and closing the spouts. Machina and the body were lifted upwards by their buoyancy. The fire on the Bobbly side and the firefighting effort. These were set in motion, all for the sake of smuggling Mr. Cochin's body. Shall I show you where the final destination of my train of logic leads? First, Mr. Alba closed the fountain spouts in advance in preparation. Then he took the pushcart that was brought to the Rose Garden and pushed it, along with the Iron Infant and Mr. Cochin's body, in the pool. At this time, Miss Sheena was busy conveniently starting the first fire in Bobble. She then made for the open-air stage's pool to wait for the firefighting effort to begin. Wow, this is so clever. When the firefighters used the water in that pool, the water level went down. And by the time the fire was put out, the pipe between the tool was exposed. This is when she pushed the pushcart from Alabast into Bobble. Once that was accomplished, Mr. Alba simply opened the fountain spouts once more. And the water level rose to its original level, along with Miss Sheena and the body. After that, Miss Sheena used the pushcart to carry the body up to the Secretariat's office. There was an elevator in the embassy after all, so you see. Even with her small frame, she could have easily transported Mr. Cochin's body. And that wraps up my thorough explanation of how the body was moved. Well, ex-Ambassador Alba, I love that it keeps... This is the type of petty... I love petty Edgeworth. I love petty Edgeworth. Ex-Ambassador Alba, what do you think? Not so untouchable without your precious extraterritorial rights to protect you, are you? I knew you could do it, Mr. Edgeworth. Way to fight back. Oh, you can use water, huh? Horchata with water? But when you get down to the nitty-gritty, you don't have what it takes to indict me. The nitty-gritty? What does that old man want anyhow? Proof, I believe, is what he seeks. Yes, proof. Without any, who is to say whether or not any of what you said really happened? He wants proof? What are we gonna do? Well, the body was not that hot, was not that burned. I have the proof we need all along. The body wasn't the only thing to go through the pools. Just as Detective Gumshoe found the pushcart, so too did I find one other item there. That piece of evidence is what will prove that the pools were the smuggling route. Another thing that was smuggled over to Bobble's open-air stage area. Another thing. Yeah, do we think it's just the pick?
Take that!
And what exactly is this? Huh, you have no idea, do you? This little piece that I found in the Bobbly side will be your undoing. A guitar's pick. Would you care to explain how that is going to do me in, as it were? Much to your chagrin, perhaps, but this is not a guitar pick. What? This is something I found at the open-air stage, which was transported with the body. I naturally assumed that you would recognize it, since you took a photo with it, after all. But since you don't, allow me to fill you in on what I found at the stage, and what it actually belongs to. Is it the final part of the knife? It totally is, isn't it?
Take that!
Let us take a good look at the murder weapon that was used to kill Manny Cochin. I love it! On the handle of the knife, there was a beautifully blooming flower. However, it would appear that it's missing a single petal. Now let us see what happens when we try to fit in this pick in that open slot. It's a perfect fit. I assume the petal must have fallen off during Mr. Cochin's murder, and then it was accidentally placed into the pushcart. That's an interesting theory, nothing more. Huh. Oh, I assure you, it's more than just a story. Because for some odd reason, this flower petal was wet when I found it. It was wet, you say. Yes, and the only place it could have gotten wet from is the Open Age Stage's pool. Now I ask you, how did a part of that weapon which was smuggled into the theater wind up in the open air stage area on the Bobbly side of the embassy? I don't think I need to waste any words explaining this, as this pedal explains it all for me. It proves that someone went from the Rose Garden's pool on through to Babel. Impossible! The people of Zangfa have been waiting to see you face to face, Mr. Alba. I'll tell everyone back home we'll be there soon. You should be happy. Why? Why? It's a little late to be asking that question. You should have known from the very beginning, when you took your first life. No matter how you may plot or how you may try to cover it all up, you can never hide from your crime and what you've done. Because we're here to see to it that justice is served to people like you. You can't call what you've given a perfect argument. Oh, it's pronounced Zhengfa? Zhengfa? Or Zhengfa? Oh, thank you. Wow, okay. That shows what I know about Chinese. I'm sorry. Thank you for correcting me. Is it Zhengfa or Zhengfa? You can't call what you've given a perfect argument. With little z. Zhengfa. Zhengfa. I've been calling it wrong this whole game. You know, I don't think this guy is ever going to admit to his wrongdoings, Mr. Edgeworth. Because he values himself above all else. People who just can't be negotiated with or refuse to admit when they've lost. I don't believe those kinds of people really exist because everyone breaks eventually. You're right. In that case, I have no choice but to use all the evidence I have. I'll use it all until he breaks under the weight of his crimes. Mr. Alba, I request that you testify once more. This really will be the end of the line. Wow. And it's full on to be continued. Oh, it's so long. I love it. This is the most intense. I remember this being long, but as long as this is so funny. That is absolutely hysterical. It's still the Ides of March, 3:33 in the morning. We are going strong. Mr. Alba, I request that you testify once more. As if there's anything else for me to testify about. I still have yet to fully prove that it was Mr. Alba who murdered Mr. Cochin. Well, I would like to hear about your movements before the murder occurred. I wonder if you could tell us about what you did here at the Theatrum Neutralis. Very well. I suppose I could tell you about that. Because about all I did was watch the Steel Samurai show. Elaborating on even that alone is good enough for me. You can't out-weeb Edgeworth. If you get one detail wrong about the show, you can't out-weeb him. Not when it comes to the Steel Samurai. The only way for me to place this man under arrest is to pinpoint the exact location of where the murder took place, for that is the key to this investigation. I watched from the last row. The stage was well lit, but it was dark out in the audience. I swear I was there in the audience, but it's hard to prove that, I suppose. I do remember the contents of the show very well, though. Is that proof enough for you? Those moving scenes were seared into this old man's heart. I'll never forget them. Yeah, American letters. Honestly, English letters, yeah, just like the, what's the word? Latin letters. You were in the theater proper watching the Steel Samurai show. Of course I was. I have a great fondness for the Steel Samurai. Yeah, I was pretty cool up there, wasn't I? You're not the one who was cool, it's the Steel Samurai who's cool. Yeah, and the Steel Samurai's special finishing move today was really something, wasn't it? Hey, Yaji! Who is she? Who's this super cute girl? She's been standing here this whole time and only now he notices her. Her name is Kay Faraday, and she's helping me in my investigation. Sorry I didn't get to introduce myself earlier, but it's better late than never. Yeah, it's okay, I'm Larry Butts! Silence in the peanut gallery. There's no time for such trivialities at a time like this. Francisca just saved Larry Butts. This girl is 17 years old. Mr. Prosecutor, this is the final battle. You got that? I know. This is the end. For that man there. Now that's the kind of thing I like to hear. I think I'll give trusting you a try, Mr. Prosecutor. Or rather, Mr. Edgeworth. He finally called him Mr. Edgeworth. Wow. Even Edgeworth is like, I'll leave this critical battle up to you, Mr. Edgeworth. Have no fear. I will finish the job. This really is the endgame. The time has come to expose every last one of his lies. Okay, I'm gonna guess that it's the end of... It's the Steel Samurai's part there. I watched from the last row. It was well lit, but it was dark. I swear I was there in the audience, but it's hard to prove that. I do remember the contents of the show very well, though. Is that proof enough for you? Huh. Well, I remember the contents of the show as well myself. That's nice. That's nice! Miles Edgeworth, don't allow yourself to be riled up by him at this important juncture. Ugh. I wasn't planning to let him. Well, if you ask me, I think I'm the biggest Steel Samurai expert around here. And don't you think the cinematic scene of today's show was just totally awesome? Yes, I remember that very well, and that spectacular special move. The way you delivered the final blow against the evil magistrate. Early summer rain jab. Oh, that scene will live on in my heart forever. Is that how it went? I totally forgot about that. How can you forget your own special moves? That's the special attack that the Steel Samurai uses when he's using the Samurai Spear. Yes, and today was the first time they showed it off, was it not? If I hadn't watched the show, then how could I answer you with the name of the move? I suppose you are correct, but if you could, please elaborate on this point for me. Okay, well, let me tell you, he definitely did not.
Objection!
I love that the final testimony is Larry Butts saving the day with this not doing his special attack. The special move today was the early summer rain jab. Is that your final answer? You little irritating gnat. You think you can trip me up by asking the same question over and over. That was not my intention. Your testimony is more than sufficient. However, I believe it would be wise for you to take a look at this. The Samurai Spear, what about it? This spear actually never made it on stage today. Excuse me? Unfortunately for you, tonight's Steel Samurai happened to be a goof of a young man with an abundance of useless hot-bloodedness. Having said that, said useless man bent the spear during his rehearsal this evening. Kay, do you remember what the Steel Samurai's special move was tonight? It was the Steel Samurai Sushi Slash. Correct! Because he couldn't use the spear, a last-minute change was made. Had you really been watching it, you would have known the move was used. Quercus Alba! You didn't watch even a single minute of the Steel Samurai stage show tonight, did you? Ha! So if he wasn't watching the show tonight, then it opens up the possibility he was busy killing Mr. Cochin. So where were you during the show? I demand an answer now! And just what is so funny? You're so sloppy. And so are your conclusions. I still insist that I watch the show, or most of it in any case. What do you mean by most of it? Ah, you see, during the show I left my seat for a spell to visit the bathroom. I assume that was when that dramatic scene was played on stage. That is the lousiest, lamest exclusive I've ever heard in my life, pal. Just because he got the name of the move wrong. We can't rely on that as proof he didn't watch the show. As a fan of the Steel Samurai, I wanted to watch the entire show, honest. As a Steel Samurai fan, for someone who wasn't even in his seat for the climax of the show, you have no right to call yourself a Steel Samurai fan ever! I love... Who was it this time? Who was that? Also, gotta say, that's the best part. Edgeworth is so riled up. You don't get to call yourself a Steel Samurai fan. Who was that just now? It would be I, young lady! Larry! What are you doing interrupting me like that? Edgy, just hold on a second, I beg. You may never accept this old man as a Steel Samurai fan, but I totally think he's a Steel Sammaniac. A Steel Sammaniac. What exactly is a Steel Sammaniac, pal? I believe you meant to say a Steel Samurai Maniac. Yeah! And trust me, I know a real fan when I see one because I'm the Steel Samurai. I will never acknowledge you as the true Steel Samurai. What are you getting so worked up over? It appears the real Steel Samurai recognizes me as a fan. As well as he showed Fry I'm a fan, it's not as though I missed the entire show. It was a most amazing show, filled with the spirit of the young and the young at heart. That sarcasm dripping from his long wooden nose couldn't run any thicker. Getting the name of the room wrong only proves that he didn't watch the last scene. What I really need here is something more definitive. Something that links Mr. Alba directly to the murder. You know what, Gramps? You're really something else. I'm honored to receive such praise from the Steel Samurai, but what is it for? Well, I was just wondering how you found out about the early summer rain jab. That move's a bit of a secret that only a small portion of the staff know about. Wait, it was a secret? Larry! Wait, what did you just say? Huh? Did I say something stupid again? Did you say that the early summer rain job was actually a secret? Well, maybe I shouldn't have said secret. It's more like we only decided on the name of the move right before the start of the show. Right before? Yeah, the stage director was going nuts because we were supposed to debut the move. About 5 minutes before the show, we threw it up on the dressing room's whiteboard. Early summer rain job. That's how we decided the name of the move. But by that time, I'd already bent the spear, so I guess the whole thing was kind of pointless. All of you Steel Samurai actors are the same. The director has my complete sympathy. So basically, because we changed the move to the sushi slash, we kind of pretended the early summer rain jab didn't exist at all. I mean, it'd be bad if someone found out we changed the move, so we made it a secret. So basically, a gag order was issued for publicity's sake. It almost makes the early summer rain jab sound like a lost art. Yeah, which is why I think most of the staff haven't even heard of the move. So Quercus Albus heard it himself, huh? Hold those lips of yours still. What the heck, old man? I've done nothing but listen, and from what I can tell, it's all very unrelated to the case. It's all so tedious and a pointless exercise in wasting time, much like a kid's show. Mr. Alba, I believe the one who should be quiet now is you. How dare you? I suspect that you've already noticed exactly what the severe implications are about this man's testimony. Ha! So now you're trying to bully me, eh? There are no implications to be read into in a behind-the-scenes story of a kid's show. Ha! Don't even think about trying to slither your way out of this one, Quercus Alba. You were the one who said it yourself that the name of the move was Early Summer Rain Jab. But that name was only decided upon right before the show was about to start. So, just what are you driving at? That's the name of the move you told us never use in the show or was said aloud. Now then, would you care to tell us about how you found out the name of that move? Because I can only think of one way you could have known. Quercus Alba. This is the only way you could have known. We didn't think it up. I would have thought that he heard it. He probably saw it? He saw it being practiced? Maybe? Wait, this is actually strange. Because he definitely heard, he would have heard the conversation. There's no way he thought it up. Oh, yeah, you could have seen it written. That's a good point of funny. You knew the name because you saw it. You saw it on the dressing room's whiteboard. There you go. The staff members who knew it were keeping it a secret, so you couldn't have simply gone up to a staff member and asked. Which means the only other option left is that you saw it on the whiteboard. So that means that Mr. Alba was in the waiting room at some point, right? Well, what's the big deal, sir? I don't see what that means. There was another piece of evidence that has a great deal to do with the dressing room. So we can't afford to let it slide. This is related to both the dressing room and to Mr. Cochin's murder. The pushcarts?
Take that!
The pushcart that was used to move the body was there in the dressing room. During the show, the pushcart awaited its turn to be pushed on stage. And it was finally pushed there along with the Iron Infant in the last scene of the show. And then, right after the show ended, it went into Alabast along with the Steel Samurai. Hey there, Lord Nero. Yes, exactly. Yes. That means... Oh, what am I talking about? That's Lich King. Which means the only time the killer could have pushed the body inside the pushcart was when the pushcart was in the dressing room backstage. So basically, the killer had to be someone who visited the dressing room during the show. Precisely. Ugh! Oh, but wait, what if, and this is just a what if the murder didn't take place in the dressing room? What do you mean, Kay? I have to admit, she brings up a valid possibility. During the show, the dressing room was supposed to be devoid of people. Anyone going into private dressing rooms would stand out like a sore thumb. But despite that, the killer still managed to move the body with the pushcart. Correct, and it is because of the setup of the theater's dressing room that it would be the ideal location for the murder of Manny Cochin. Puercus Alba, during the show, you went down to the dressing room. And I want to know why. Yes. Yes, I was there. I went into the dressing room. I knew it! I'm placing you under arrest right now, pal. You got that? Arrest. Not so fast. What is it now? Don't I deserve a chance to explain myself? Explain? What is there to explain? I believe I told you earlier that I went to the bathroom. Well, I got lost when I did. I wanted to ask for directions, but when I opened the door, no one was inside, and that's when I saw the name of the move on the whiteboard. You punk! Still trying to get out of this. Do you really think you can get away at this point? Mr. Edgeworth, isn't there anything you can do to stop him? I don't have enough evidence on hand to do anything. I don't have the airtight evidence I need to put this man away for good. But if that's what I need, then perhaps... Agent Lang, I believe an investigation of the dressing room in question is in order. It's possible we may find new evidence there. Yeah, Mr. Edgeworth pokes around, I'm sure I'll find some new facts, pal. Oh, and if we use Little Thief, we may even be able to learn from a recreation. We don't need to do any of that. What? Wolfie, how could you? I'm not saying this to be mean. It's just that we've already searched there. My men really are something else. And they found nothing? There's only one thing I can say to you, sis. And it's that they found nothing, that's it. This music is so evil and dramatic, I love it. I guess you're right. If they found something, they would have reported it to us. They couldn't find anything because there was nothing to find. And if there's no info to feed in a Little Thief, then I can't be of much help either. Is this the end? The murder took place in this theater, which is not protected under extraterritorial rights. And the fact that it was Mr. Alba himself who committed the murder. If I can't prove both statements to be true, Mr. Alba walks away a free man. Is there no course of action left to us? Well, I feel like if the royal family took away his ambassador title, they'd probably be pretty down to try him fairly in a court of law. But, yeah. It would appear your hand of cards has turned out to be a bust. Now, if you'll please excuse me. Because of you people, I missed my flight. Now I must make haste to arrange for a new one. Who is it now? Who is it now? Who is it this time? Hold it right there, you whippersnappers. First Larry and now you. What is with the scary mobster-like scowl on your face, Edgy Poo? Don't treat me like I'm some sort of nuisance. I've been meaning to say this, but all of you keep talking about things I don't get at all. You're all saying this, leaving this lady in the sad, depressing, lonely dust about to cry in. Why did you have to speak up right at this instant? But you know what, Edgy Poo? Cheer up, because I'm about to give you the most wonderful thing. The most wonderful thing from you. It's so super special that I couldn't give it away to just anyone, you know. Ah, my special present of love to you, my sweet Edgy Poo. Are you ready? Is this... It's... It's a box of those samurai dogs, right? Yeah, so Edgy Poo, here, go and eat one and you'll feel right as rain. Are we through here? Why did everyone get so quiet all of a sudden? Edgy Poo! Tell me you understand the depths of this lady's love for you. I'm not the one to hand out snacks willy-nilly, you know. No, sir. The thought occurred to me that maybe it would be good if I fed you and made sure you were nice and full. One day it's my dream to serve you some of my own homemade food. I mean, isn't it the desire of every woman to make sure their beloved never goes hungry? And that's what I want to experience, although a long time ago they used to say I make the most delicious ingredients out of any meal. Mr. Edgeworth, can't you do anything about her? There is no power on earth that can force that woman into silence. But I'm so sick and tired of it. All you people do is look down upon me. Even this box of samurai dogs played me for a fool. It had a special design on its fan, just like the Japanese flag, so I thought it was special. But when I ate one, it tasted just like the rest. Oh, it made me so mad. Wait. A special box with a Hinamaru-like fan on it? Oh, Hinamaru must be the rising sun flag? I've never heard of such a piece of merchandise existing before! His weeb skills coming into play. However, there it is. The red rising sun of this fan is filled in. Is it possible? Could it be? After the show, the samurai dogs were piled up on the floor. However, there was no such thing as a rising sun dog. This contradiction of facts between something that should not exist and yet does. The rays from this rising sun may be just what we needed to point us in the right direction. The studio bigwigs basically told us to be delivery boys who were supposed to hand the dogs off to the embassy people and tell them, hey. I had to push them onto the push carts just to move them. I believe you understand what this means, correct? You killed Mr. Cochin and then placed his body into the push carts. And then you forced the steel samurai to unwittingly move the body for you. No matter how fragile or small the connections may be, once we've found them all, the way to the truth will be revealed. Oh, no? It refers to the circle of the sun. Interesting. That's news to me. Okay, so the dogs. I mean, I understand what happened. The blood of the body got on the dogs. Oh, wait. Let's try the double push card here. Unfunny. He probably does, actually. Although it's probably a pretty airtight case at this point. The killer used the pushcart to transport the body, which means they had to remove the samurai dogs from there first. Therefore, the samurai dogs that were piled up on the dressing room floor were most likely taken out of the pushcart. That which should not exist, this box of samurai dogs with a Hinamaru on it. If this red rising sun was filled in when the killer was busy removing dogs, then it's proof the murder took place in the dressing room. As long as this red substance turns out to be what I believe it is. Wendy Oldbag. I thank you. What you have given to me is truly something very special. Edgy Poo! Mr. Edgeworth, are you sure you're feeling okay, sir? Mr. Alba, as I suspected, you killed Mr. Cochin in the dressing room. How many times must I listen to you repeat yourself? Haven't you figured it out yet? Your words are meaningless, worthless, and powerless. The only way I'm going to continue to cooperate is with definitive evidence. Huh! That arrogance, that self-confidence. You believe you've erased every piece of evidence that could incriminate you. However, there remains one piece here, and it is what will put you away for good. Ha! You're bluffing. Oh, hey, Mr. Prosecutor. Sounds like you finally found him. You finally found the fangs we need to go after this guy's jugular. So tell us, what about this box of samurai dogs is gonna put the old man away anyway? The trace evidence that will bring him down, well, it's here, of course. It is pretty crazy how perfect it looks. This box of samurai dogs with a rising sun fan on it should never have existed. I want you to all take a good look at this red spot. It's a single drop of blood. Huh? What? Blood, you say? Agent Lang, I'd like this blood analyzed post-haste. I gotta admit, I'm a bit surprised. I can't believe we found blood in a place like this. Hey you, get this down to the lab pronto. But why was there blood on that box to begin with? If we think about the flow of the crime, I think the reason will become obvious. Larry, you said you transported the samurai dogs with the pushcart, correct? Oh yeah, you got a great memory, Edgy. That pushcart was a bit too big for my son, you know? So I had to make sure everyone could see him. I had to pile some stuff in. I figured the samurai dogs were there, so I used them to fill up the cart. If what Larry says is true, then what were the boxes doing on the floor? I see. The killer took them out to place the body in the pushcart. Exactly, and that is when I believe the victim's body and his blood found his way onto the box. But when my men investigated that room, not a single box of samurai dogs was in there, because the embassy's staff members had already confiscated them. Yes, no doubt to hide the evidence of the murder. It's a good thing Miss Oldbag managed to steal that one box before they got to him, huh? Looks like Miss Oldbag also managed to put this great thief to shame. What a scandalous way of putting that. I didn't steal, I received it from myself. Quercus alba. I'd say this was one very fatal oversight on your part. He's still objecting. He's still objecting. Sorry to rain on your little love fest. However, how could he be so confident in a no-win situation? Even if that blood does turn out to belong to Mr. Cochin, then what? Ha! So, Mr. Edgeworth, it sounds like he's not ready to call it quits yet, huh? This sole piece of evidence that was left at the scene of the crime, that alone has shed light on a new fact. At the very least, we now have proof that the murder occurred in the dressing room. And you say that like it means something. Huh? Excuse me, sirs. Report! What were the results of the analysis? Sir, the analysis came back and confirmed that the red substance is blood. I knew it, with this Quercus alba. Mr. Edgeworth, I wonder if you might humor my question. Your question? The one from before, or have you forgotten? Even if that is Mr. Cochin's blood, what difference would it make? Like we already told you, it proves that the crime scene was in the dressing room. But it doesn't prove that I am your killer, does it? But that's... He's got a very good point. The blood in that box doesn't prove Mr. Alba is the killer. Then, this evidence, it's meaningless? That can't be, we were so close, sir! I want to smack that smug look off his face. Come on, there's got to be something we can do. We finally found a solid piece of evidence. There must be something I can expose with it. Ugh! I can't think of a single thing. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll be on my way. Who was that? It's too late. I won't allow anyone to stop me now. It wasn't me, pal. And it wasn't me this time either. Wasn't me. It wasn't me. This feels so Scooby-Doo. I love it. Why did you? Because I haven't finished reporting everything to you, sir. There's more? Hurry up and spit it out. Yes, sir. The blood I mentioned. It's not of the same blood type as the victim's blood. What? No. What? What? What do you mean it's not the same type? You mean it's not the victim's blood? If it isn't his... I'm with you, Huntress. I love it. I don't know, sir. All I know is that it's not the same blood type as the victim's. What should we do now, Mr. Edgeworth? I have no idea what's what anymore. Neither do I. My, what an amusing turn of events. That blood drop proved to be something true, all right, namely my words. And which one of your words would that be? The ones where I said that your words are meaningless, worthless, and powerless. That blood has nothing to do with the murder investigation whatsoever. Need I remind you, the blood got onto that box long before it entered my embassy. What sort of nonsense? Yeah, it's blood, pal. There's no way it's not related to the murder. So you would believe. But what if someone else preparing the samurai dogs had a small nosebleed? What then? I guess that's possible. Have we been wasting our time on a red herring? The blood doesn't belong to anyone connected to the case. That should be clue enough. Quercus alba, you jerk! Silence! Don't you ever address me with such a filthy word again. I've wasted enough time here with you, and you have your answers. Now let me through. Alba, it doesn't matter where you run off to, you'll never escape me. Someday I'll have the satisfaction of sinking my fangs into you, you'll see. And all of Interpol will be behind me, working to see it, that it makes sure it happens. Do you know what your words sound like to me? They sound like the whinings of a pathetic loser of a mutt. Oh. Is that really the extent of all we can do? Good night, Sid. Is the blood really from someone completely unrelated? Or is there another possibility, someone other than the victim? Just when I thought I had him backed into a corner, it is I who has been backed into one. In a situation like this, what would that man do? What would that man do? What would Phoenix Wright do? What would he, who can turn any desperate situation around, do? I love that. Turn it around. That's it. I must turn my way of thinking around. It's not whose blood is this. It's whose blood could get onto the box like this. If the blood got onto the box when the body was being placed, then the owner of said blood must have been in the dressing room at the time. And there could only be one person. Well, I must praise you for trying so hard. It's because of you kids that I was removed from the center stage. And I'll be forced to live out the rest of my life in the shadows, unfortunately. But it's not a total loss, as the underworld will allow me more freedom than you'll ever know. Freedom, like what the raven feels as it flies through the dark night sky. You can't lay a finger on me, not now nor ever. The arm of the law is powerless before me. Powerless, is it? I wouldn't be so sure about that if I were you. What do you mean? Allow me to describe you in one word. Pitiful. Pitiful? How so? Quercus alba, your wings were clipped long ago. And for someone who is trying to fly away on them without noticing the fact, pitiful is the perfect word to describe you. Mere words. What do you mean by his wings are clipped, Mr. Edgeworth? Just what you think it means, Kay. We already caught him in our trap a while back. With an incredibly powerful, definitive piece of evidence. Hey, aren't the prosecutor care to speak in English? What are you talking about? What piece of evidence? The piece I speak of is, of course, this drop of blood. But we know it's not from the victim. I don't see how it remains relevant. Ms. Von Karma, I believe that is exactly why it's important to the case. And the part that is the most important is the fact that it's not the victim's blood. You're looking a little pale. Good, then I believe you are already aware of what I mean. Then you know who the blood belongs to? Of course I do. This piece of evidence is irrefutable proof that will stop the killer in his tracks. The blood that soiled this box of samurai dogs belongs to Quercus alba. The blood of the rising sun belongs to you, Quercus alba. What? Why is his blood on the box? He's not even a victim. The blood fell onto the box when Mr. Cochin's body was being loaded. At the time, the only two people in the dressing room were the victim and his killer. So that's what you mean. If the blood doesn't belong to the victim, there's only one other person it could be. Yes, and that person's the murderer himself. That's the only logical conclusion. But Mr. Cochin was the one who was stabbed, sir. Why would Mr. Alba have been the one who was bleeding? What if it was during the murder Mr. Cochin had fought back? You mean if before Mr. Alba could kill him, Mr. Cochin managed to wound him? And I believe we have a piece of evidence that proves he was bleeding then. How about actual Alba's wound? Look at that, with that evil smile still on it. Look at that. That's gonna take him down right now.
Take that!
Mr. Alba, finally some chase and corded music. You bear your body a great wound. That was from when Damas II attacked me with a pair of scissors. Yeah, and that happened way after he was in the dressing room. Ah, but is that what really happened? You can manufacture a weapon by smearing blood on it, so I can't just accept that as fact. Shall we try a test, Mr. Alba, and see if the shape of your wound matches the scissors? You really are something else, Mr. Edgeworth. You don't let a single thing slip you by, no matter how insignificant the possibility. You're one to talk, Mr. Alba. You managed to give the law the slip for 10 years as a smuggling ring's leader. No matter the danger, you can hide every last ounce of fear and anxiety from everyone. You truly are a one-of-a-kind criminal. I'm the master of my fear. However, to think a person such as you could miss such a large thing. You believe I've overlooked something. You said that my wound was caused by Mr. Cochin, and that it was caused here, in one of my theater's dressing rooms, right? Yes, that is correct. I'd like to point out that it's simply not possible. My wound is a stab wound, and one that could only have come from a blade. I wonder where you'll propose that such a weapon came from. Ah, this theater was packed with security guards. It would have been impossible for anyone to come in this area. Just as Mr. Alba was able to bring in the alabaster knife, there must have been some other way to sneak in a weapon. Ah, but as long as you can't prove what that other way is, all your talk about Mr. Cochin is pure nonsense. So if that other way does exist, you better hurry and tell me now. With pleasure. Wait, what? This piece of evidence shows us how Mr. Cochin brought a weapon. The Yatagarasu's key?
Take that!
Among law enforcement, this piece is known as the Yatagarasu's key. That key! That's the key that my father stole from here 7 years ago. And it is very unique in that it is both a key and a knife. Meaning that under the guise of a key, it could easily have been brought into the theater. No! You couldn't dispose of the knife that stabbed you. Therefore, you wiped off the blood and placed it back into Mr. Cochin's pocket. After all, the key itself opens the safe in his office. And inside that knife, there was a document about Kodopian papers signed by Mr. Cochin. In order to make it look like he died as the leader of the smuggling ring, you had to make it so that the police were the ones who opened that office safe. Heh! All that hard work to save yourself only served to destroy you in the end. Shall we try matching this knife's blade with your wound, Mr. Quercus Alba? Did we finally get him? Did we finally get him? Did we get him? And that is what some may call the coup de grace. Impossible. You can't take me down. Swine, all of you. Especially Manny Cochin. This is all because of that man's betrayal. He sought to steal control of the smuggling ring from me by removing me as ambassador, which is why he deserved to die while bearing the guilt for all my crimes. That's why I sent out the Yatagarasu's card and how the incident was born. Manny was supposed to be the smuggling ring's leader who was killed by the Yatagarasu, but I had yet another reason, yet another story that was supposed to play out. Manny's death was supposed to bring everything to a close, and I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you meddling prosecutors. Mr. Alba, I'm afraid there was one more question I forgot to ask. This country's or Alabas, which country's court would you like to face first? Either way, it's game over for you. Edgeworth! Edgeworth! Ah! 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 We got him, gang. We got him. We finally got him. Woo, this is really the big day. It's Mr. Alba's trial day. And next week he's scheduled to stand trial in his own country. Francisca's heading that one. I suspect she'll be serving a full course of whiplashes. Having to face Mr. Von Karma in court right after facing you, sir? Ooh, I don't even want to think of what that would be like. I caught a glimpse of Mr. Alba as he was being escorted. And boy, he looked about as glum as the day I got my monthly paycheck. You know, I've been thinking. That flight attendant and even Mr. Portsman were all Mr. Alba's secret agents. Correct. That smuggling ring was the common thread between all of the incidents. Cammy Meal was to provide support during smuggling ops, using her job as an attendant. And Mr. Portsman was to manipulate trials related to the ring to end in their favor. Ugh. I Fly Airlines and even the prosecutor's office. No one was safe from the smuggling ring, huh, sir? I suspect there are even more members of the ring spread out throughout the world. Yeah, it sounds like such a big op. I can't even begin to imagine what it's like. What is it, detective? Ah, nothing. It's just, well, come to think of it, Mr. Ernest Amano's trial is also scheduled for later today, sir. I'm aware of that. Mr. Amano has been working with the smuggling ring now for over 10 years. He used the Amano Group's various connections worldwide to assist the ring. But all of that has come to an end as his conglomerate is now undergoing harsh scrutiny. I owe Mr. Amano a debt of gratitude, but he must pay his debt to society. Well, with the arrests of both Mr. Alba and Mr. Amano, I guess that about wraps up the KG-8 incident as well, huh? I suppose so. The real killer in the KG-8 incident 10 years ago was Manny Cochin. And 7 years ago, the killer in the second was Mackerel. Those two facts are the unshakable truth. However, it seems that a lot of effort was put into hiding these and other truths from us. And I will expose it all at the trials today. You're solving cases left and right today, aren't you, sir? Says you, indeed, man. Perhaps now, these two brave souls who tried to make the truth known can rest in peace. By the by, I received some gifts from Ambassador Poleno. Shrimp, crab, beef. I don't need any of these, so I'm giving them to you. What? Seriously, sir? Wait, actually, I don't want them anymore. The way you're holding them, don't tell me they're just coupons, sir. Detective Gumshoe, have you not read the paper recently? Ever since the two countries became Codopia again, its economy has changed. In 2 days? In 2 days? This is March 17th. It appears that Ambassador Poleno has reaped a few benefits of his own. He's been announced as the official ambassador of the newly reunified Codopia. What a pity. Even though every item sent is a treasure, you don't seem at all interested. Well, if you don't want him, I can give him to my lovely assistant, Kay. Wait, that's not what I said. Mr. Edgeworth, let me have him, sir. Actually, come to think of it, where is Kay? How come she's still not here? Hey, you gotta be more alert about that. Eek! I can't believe you didn't notice. I was even mimicking Mr. Edgeworth's voice for a bit. I totally didn't notice you, or realize the voice was you. Long Z says, ferocious love blooms with each new spring. Agent Lang, a pleasant surprise to see you here. It's been a long time since I set foot in a courthouse, but I wasn't gonna miss watching the guy who screwed up my country finally get what's coming to him. Well, that and something else. I want to see you in action in court. Is that so, Agent Lang? We flushed out all the counterfeit bills, so Zhang Fa's finally at peace again. And it's all thanks to you, so I just want to say, thanks. Wow, never thought I'd see the day old Wolfie says thanks to Mr. Edgeworth. I should be the one thanking you, Agent Lang. If you hadn't negated Mr. Alba's extraterritorial rights, I would not have been able to bring him to trial. I believe the victory belongs to the both of us in this case. A shared victory, huh? Look, don't get me wrong, I'll still never forgive you prosecutors. And I have zero interest in that truth thing you guys talk about in court. I've always done things my own way, and that's not about to change, you got that? Huh, I see. Well, I believe you should follow your own creed when you do your job. Yeah. And if there's ever someone your precious truth can't catch, feel free to sit around and cry about it all you want. But as for me, I'm gonna get that person no matter what. Heh. Alright. It's about time for the trial to start. I'll see you later. I'll be watching your performance from the gallery. Looking forward to it. I prepared a whole ton of ticker tape for today's victory, sir. Right! Edgeworth's the, sorry, Gumshoe's the one who throws the confetti up in the air. Is that called ticker tape? I'll help throw some around when Mr. Edgeworth wins. Hope you got enough, because I'm gonna go call my men up as well. A modest amount of ticker tape goes a long way. We got this. Good night, Unfunny. We finally brought him to court. The scene shifts to the courtroom and the final act of this long tale begins. The legend of the great thief Yatagarasu. It's the story of those who chose to dedicate their lives to the pursuit of the truth. Prosecutors are those who seek a guilty verdict for the defendants they meet. And to that end, you have no choice but to win by any means necessary. That creed was forced on me since I was very young. However, I no longer think that is all way prosecutors are, and that is because... This song is so cool. Even though I've only been away from the courtroom for a short time, I feel as though it's been a lifetime since I set foot in one. And today, more than any other day, I feel the fight within me rising. Oh, this song is awesome. I'm gonna crank it up a little bit. I am really in Mr. Edgeworth's debt for the other day. Thanks to him, I'm still free to serve in the friendly blue skies. Oh, and about my suitcases. I've been selling them on the internet, and they've become a real sensation. Thanks to the praise the art world has lavished on my work as being truly postmodern. The airline has chosen me to design their new line of I-Fly jumbo jets. Just think, someday you'll be able to take a ride in my pink-walled, yellow-seated jet. I'm happy she got a good ending. We did it! Thanks, TJ. Oh, man. I'm so good for her, honestly. I hope she lowered the price a little bit from $1,200 or $1,400. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Edgeworth. Ah, that rudeness of a rude man. Because of him, my time and money is wasted. But more importantly, I received a most fantastic treasure recently. The Primitive statue. Oh, that's funny. Oh, we got the fake. It weighs a bit light in my hands, but the ambassador Paleto was most generous. Wait, that's so funny. That's actually hysterical. That's actually hysterical. Oh, man. He got the fake Primitive statue. We finally caught Agent Hicks's killer, and I was able to witness Mr. Alba's teary eyes. Feels good to finally bring everything to a close. I received another offer from Interpol to work another case in cooperation with them. However, the Kodopian courts await. Kodopia's air is supposed to be very fresh, so my whip should find new vigor there. No way you can bring a whip through airport security. What if it's a private flight, though? Maybe a private jet. She's probably loaded enough. Or maybe Interpol. I don't know. It's true. It's not very likely. Oh, Meekins, this little patrolman's been fired as of today, sir. I thought I was safe since we found the gun I had dropped. But I hadn't noticed that I dropped my police badge, too. I guess what really broke the camel's back was that I couldn't find my badge. My little life has been suddenly tripped into a dark black hole, sir. I think I'll go back to the courthouse and file a complaint with Ruffles Man. Oh, Meekins. Oh, Meekins. How is this song so good? I was actually hoping to talk with Mr. Edgeworth a bit more than I did. We basically never saw Emma. But I gotta get going and return to Europe. I still got a long way to go and a lot of stuff to study there. Next time I help Mr. Edgeworth on a case, I'm gonna do it as a real forensic scientist. I'm sure he's gonna need all the help I can give him scientifically. Too bad she becomes a detective. That's true. We only got her for like... She basically did nothing. We got like one scene with her. And she wasn't even that integral in that part. Interesting. Because the kidnapping was staged, I was let off easy. But I won't be going outside much anytime soon, but that's really okay. The only prison I'm forever trapped in is the cage of love. The guard down at the detention center. Well, when he's on guard duty, he has such a cold look in his eyes, just like that prosecutor. Ah, stop it, Lauren. When will you ever learn to stop being a prisoner of love? Oh. Kind of fun to get the peanut gallery. Oh! Are we gonna get young? Oh, the judge. It appears there are all sorts of drama that takes place outside of the courtroom. Since we judges are here day in and day out, I've only heard a few rumors, but, apparently, Mr. Edgeworth teamed up with a thief and became a detective. Maybe I should team up with a bailiff and try to become a lawyer or something. Oh, Judgy. Oh, Judgy. Oh, Maggie Bird! She's so cute. Woo, I barely escaped death yet again. Yeah, but boy, were we looking at Mr. Edgeworth help us out, huh? Yeah, because I lost the key, I got fired from my security guard job. Don't let it get you down, Maggie. You still got me. You're right, sir. I won't be sad. I'm gonna pick myself up and get through this. I wonder what my next job should be. Oh, this is actually kind of fun. I guess she owns that hat, yeah. We did it, Sekai. I guess the judge just hangs around there all day. Doesn't need to leave photosynthesis, that's right. That's right, Huntress. Why not come to Codopia for your summer vacation? We have coupons aplenty. Right now, our embassy is proud to present our Let's Investigate a Murder show. Although, recreating that particular case has created a few small fires of its own. Then we had a few problems with the fire marshals, but the next event will be great. It will be an attraction entitled Capture the Yatagarasu. Of course, I hope to enlist Kay's help in creating our latest attraction. You know what? We never learned why the country splits. And did we ever learn about the first fire? That there were two fires? We know one fire was set so that the water would drain, but... I can't believe that Mindy ditched me and went to Japan! But it's okay, because that's how I met Miharu! We're planning to go to Paris soon and start a business! We're going to sell blue ocean dogs! They'll sell like hotcake hot dogs for sure. A blue hot dog on a blue bun, I guarantee it'll turn your tongue and your face blue. I know I'm not really the type to work a lot or at all, really, but, oh, so I noticed that I really haven't seen that guy in the blue suit at all recently. I wonder what's up. Well, the next time we meet, I'm gonna make him eat one of my dogs. I love that no one calls him Phoenix. I wonder why. Literally nobody calls him Phoenix, huh? Not in this game. Yeah, both of them. Yeah, because one of the fires got put out, right? One of the fires got put out. And also to burn the counterfeit bills. Today I gave testimony in court as a member of the Yatagarasu. Yo, Mr. Bad, you look well, all things considered. By the way, have you noticed that elements within the ring have begun moving? They're probably fighting over who should succeed. Over who should be at the next boss. Although, to be honest, I wish I could forget I'd ever heard of that smuggling ring. Lang Z says, thoroughly bite the poisonous snake from head to tail. No one runs afoul of the law and escapes this wolf's fangs. I'll get you all yet. Ah, youth. When did I become so old, I wonder? I begun noticing the gray hairs on my beard more. I'm thinking of retiring my mirror. Yeah, no, that's a good reason, Sekai. I know, well, we did just finish at Wombat, but yes. That's how long it took to put him to justice. Yeah. I was the Pink Princess and the Pink Badger all in the span of 2 days. Talk about busy. But it's alright because I got a letter from my beloved Edgy Poo. Please take care of your hip, and when you wish to speak, first take off your headpiece. What does he mean by that last statement? It's not like I enjoy being under a headpiece every time I see him. I've been an alien and some creepy fuzzy pink animal, and it was a pink princess, a great hero of justice, but every time I was a young lady, I could put a stylish hat on my head, but then I could wear my own costume, but even then it sounds like a terrible idea. Yes, that's the Steel Samurai Wombat. He's a recurring character from other ones. Oh, really? An Afine? I had missed that, Kirito. Actually, would someone find an article? What's this song? Would someone find an article where they talk about Phoenix Wright not being mentioned? Because I believe that. I just wonder if there was ever like a developer interview. Whoop! I feel so much better now that the trial's over, sir. And as always, your legal prowess was top-notch. Yeah, nothing beat the look on Mr. Alba's face when he revealed the ring's secrets. I was amazed. You're like a totally different person when you step into a courtroom. Mr. Edgeworth is always 10 times fiercer in court. Based on the information Mr. Alba offered up, they begun large-scale operations to clean up the rest of the ring, which I'm happy to leave to Francisca and Agent Ling. So what are your plans now, Kay? Oh, well, we've taken care of the creep who killed my father, so I'm not sure. Hey, I know. Maybe I'll just keep on being Mr. Edgeworth's assistant. Are you still trying to steal my job, pal? Just kidding, just kidding. I can't steal something so important, you gummy. Phew, what a relief. Kay. Yes? Even after all that's happened, are you still planning to become a great thief? Of course! But I don't want to tarnish the legend of the noble Yatagarasu, so I'm gonna hold off on doing anything till I make a tight 3-person team of my own. A 3-person team? A 3-person team of young beauties the same age as me, if possible. With those criteria, I highly doubt you'll find the 2 other people you need. My father chose to fight for the truth. I think that's what was so noble about him. So you see, Mr. Edgeworth, the only things I'll ever steal are the truths that have been hidden away. I'm gonna work extra hard to make a world where the Yatagarasu isn't needed. Huh. Well, let's both strive for such a future. Well, I guess it's time for me to get going. I see. Okay! Keep your chin up and stay strong, okay? And don't be a stranger. Don't worry, I'll be back. I'll be sure to break the lock on the window and sneak in. If you could, I'd appreciate it if you came in through the building's front door. It's okay, Mr. Edgeworth. The lock on my window at home's been broken forever. Oh, one last thing before I go. Let's take a group photo, just the 3 of us. Ah, commemorative photo. Every big case has got to end with one. No. Hey, why not? Don't tell me you're camera shy, Mr. Edgeworth. Of course not, detective. Come on, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm taking the picture now. Hey, come back here. Mr. Edgeworth, you can't run away from this, sir. Hey, Detective Gumshoe. Stop that. I can't be seen doing that. Okay, I'm totally taking it now. Say cheese. And thus, the long tale of the KG-8 incident came to a close. It saw the demise of a smuggling ring and the birth of a little great thief. But there was little time to rest and relax, for I am eager to tackle the investigation into a new case. The reason for my eagerness is my want to pursue the truth and my want to believe in the strength of those who use the power of the law for good. As someone who has chosen to live my life as a prosecutor, that is my new creed. That's cute. That's cute. Hey, Gia the Jelly, nice to see you. Gee, I hope the good thing is you didn't really get spoiled too much, huh? This is the ending of this game. We just beat it. This is Edgeworth's game, who I'm sure you've met in court in the first game. Actually, I know you have because you're on the final case of the first one. So, I love it. That was good. Very, very cute. Extremely cute, you guys. Oh, absolutely love to see it. What a fun game. Honestly, it's funny. Like looking back on this game, because I honestly last played it when it first came out, so probably 15 years ago. I definitely remember the last case being really long, and it was. Oh my gosh, Alba. But you know what's funny? Like, I actually think there's kind of a charm. There's kind of a charm to him being so like so slippery and such a like. You know what I mean? He's actually a really memorable villain, which I think is kind of interesting. And I actually and again in retrospect, I like how I like the embassies with the the diplomacy. Like that's an interesting scenario. And also I will say this game compared to the other Ace Attorney games, a lot less outlandish. Like definitely a lot of like every Ace Attorney game is gonna have like really funny and silly things that you know that have you know that have weird explanations. But you know this one didn't really have like any paranormal activity. You know most things were pretty straightforward. Well, maybe not straightforward, but you know I'm glad that Edgeworth and his logic got to shine a lot. So great stuff. Oh, I love that Gia. Gia, I'm gonna give you a shout out. Let's give a shout out for Gia. She's pretty fun, and she we met her just last night actually. We met her just last night, and she's a lot of fun. Was playing the Ace Attorney first game, and she had some fun people voice acting with her. I do all the voices myself. You know, I'm not much of a voice actor myself, but you know, I do have fun with it. Anyway, good night to all of you. Thank you very much for hanging out with us. I know the story games are not the most popular because it's kind of hard to keep up with, but I'm really happy we beat it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll find a time to edit this up. I've got a big video to make on it for YouTube, which should be really fun. Oh, Cha, good night, Retro. Thanks to everyone for lurking around and having fun. I will say too, I mean, obviously I'm not streaming this weekend anyway, but I'm going out of town for a little bit, just for a few days, to visit my grandmother. So, you know, that should be fun this weekend. Hopefully I'll have some fun photos to take and fun things to film for YouTube. Monday, we're gonna beat Star Force. We're gonna beat Star Force Deluxe on Monday. Straight up, full stop. Also, I might even open up a Mega Man package, which should be kind of fun too. So, really looking forward to Monday, beating Star Force Deluxe, taking on Andromeda. Should be a great time. Good night to all of you. Good night, Cheese. Good night, Outlaw. Good night, Seikai. Good night, Cha. Good night, Huntress. Huntress, thanks for being here so early for you in Germany. I love that. I hope you got to enjoy that too. Good night, Kirito. Who else, you guys? Good night, Wombat. Good night, Gia. Thanks for popping in here. Really appreciate that. Anyone I'm missing? Shout out your name if I missed it. I wish, Cheese, that normally that would be the case. However, somebody spent 80,000 channel points. Cowbell did to choose my next DS game, and that is going to be Digital Devil Survivor, or Shin Megami Tensei Devil Survivor, I think is the name. Which honestly will probably be a long game. We're playing a lot of long DS games for sure. But after that, provided no one else spends channel points, will be Days of Ruin, which I'm excited about because honestly, I'm kind of addicted. I've been playing a lot of Advanced Wars on web, just doing like random Global League stuff. So I've been having a lot of fun. Love it, Outlaw. Yeah, should be fun. Should be really fun. Ooh, is that right? Is that right, TJ? Almost at 80k. I wonder what TJ would pick. Would you let me know what you would pick, TJ, or would you wait? Would you wait to reveal it? This reminds me that I need to kind of rehaul some channel points anyway. I want people to spend more points on fun stuff. I need to find some other fun things to spend points on. You don't know what you pick. Fair enough. Oh, wow. Yo, Wombat, can we take a second? Can we take a second to salute Wombat? Can we take a second to salute him? That was really kind of him to gift that sub to Crow. Who's the Takarasu? No, I just saw it, Wombat. There's a delay. You know what I mean? There's always a stream delay from, you know, chat and things. No, totally saw it. Hold up. Wait. Why aren't the emotes showing? Give me a second. Let me get these emotes. So when you guys spam them, spam some emotes, you guys, please. I really appreciate that. Let me move it up. Yeah, there we go. Thanks, everybody. Spam those emotes, those salutes. Really appreciate that, Wombat. Thank you very much for that. Very, very sweet and kind of you to give that to our good friend Crow. He's an awesome guy. Got a few favorites in the DS that are further down the list. Maybe Yu-Gi-Oh? Oh, no, Cheese doesn't like Yu-Gi-Oh. I know Cheese is not a Yu-Gi-Oh fan. I know there are a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh fans around here. The non-Persona SMTs will eat my lunch. I bet, man. I bet. The only one I've played and beaten was Strange Journey, also on the DS, which I guess I will also be replaying at some point. So that's some good stuff. Ooh, Golden Sun, Dark Sun. I only played the original Golden Sun. I never even played the GBA sequel. I've only played Golden Sun 1. I'd be very curious to play the DS version. That'd be very cool. Love a good JRPG. Anyway, hope you guys have fun with that. Also, I will say too, I'll probably spell it out at some point, but obviously channel points is the free way to do it, but I'll probably have like a donation thing too. Maybe like, I don't know, like $25 or something. You could probably pick my next game. As you know, we need to pay those bills, y'all. I'm spending a lot of money editing these videos. So you know what I mean? gotta do my best. Oh, Leo, good night to you, Leo. Anyway, good night to all of you. Leo, thanks for popping in. I know you're from Australia. Yu-Gi-Oh! On the DS should be fun. I think there's like five Yu-Gi-Oh! Games on the DS, or so we heard. Anyway, good stuff. Good night to all of you. Catch you later. Have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you Monday for Mega Man Star Force Deluxe finale, and have a good rest of your evening. Peace out, everybody. What's the general dummy operation? What's